Begin transmission. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Outer Rim transmission number 36. We're back at it again with another film commentary. We are finishing off the prequels with, of course, episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Very much a fan favorite film, and I think it's one of the best Star Wars films, and I can't wait to watch it again. I watched it recently, but with all you guys this time around. So as always, I'm going to give you guys a head start for those listening, for those watching on YouTube now or after the fact. We're going to be watching this through Disney Plus, so just get your player ready, press play, and then drag the cursor all the way on the bottom of the screen to 000, and then we will count you guys down when we're ready to go. So how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad to be back. You guys had an episode without me last week with the Thanksgiving break. You guys always kill it like always, so I'm just ready to be back and talk some Star Wars and watch some Revenge of the Sith.
Heck yeah, I wanted to get this commentary in now because I have a feeling, I was telling you guys earlier, I have a feeling we're going to get hit hard with news between next week and the week after. We're going to have something to look forward to, the Game Awards. I feel like they're going to probably give us at least a little bit of info, maybe even a teaser trailer for a new Star Wars game, because we know there's so many out there. The Game Awards is always every year they're revealing a lot of new game stuff. So I'm like, okay, next week is going to be a news week. The following week, we're probably going to just do our Boba Fett preview video, and we might go, a week on pause with Christmas falling on a Friday. We'll see what's going to happen, but most likely we'll take a week off, and then we'll discuss the future plans later on. So it's like, all right, we got to basically get this prequel series done now, or else we'll never know when we're going to get back into it, because it's like, okay, once Book of Boba Fett starts, it's going to be just like Star Wars every week for 50 something weeks probably. So who knows, but so I'm excited to get into it and finish off the prequel trilogy here.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun finishing up the prequels, and it's good just to kind of like cap it out, because like you said, we don't know exactly when we're going to be getting back to the commentaries next. So it's better to finish up the prequels than it is just to, do 1 and 2 and then just stop for like a month or something, or 2 months.
Yeah, the good thing is we have obviously Obi-Wan Kenobi series, so this is going to be a great kind of like refresher. I don't know if I'm going to see Revenge of the Sith again before I see that series. I probably will, honestly, but it is still cool while it's on the brain. Like, hey, this series is coming out literally in under a year, most likely. So it's going to be a good way to kind of also prime up everybody's brains with what's going on with Obi-Wan Kenobi as a little refresher. So real quick, we're not going to do our usual kind of our week in Star Wars. We'll save that to next week. But I do, of course, want to mention what came out this week real quick. For those of you that are interested in the comics, we had a bunch of comics. We had the Darth Vader issue number 18. That came out. That's all about Vader recruiting people against Crimson Dawn. We also had Bounty Hunters issue number 18, and that also had to do with Valance, who is now basically tasked by Darth Vader to go also and hunt Crimson Dawn. So the Empire's trying to root out the Crimson Dawn, which is everywhere at this point. And then we also had the High Republic Adventures, which deals with some goings-ons with the Nile and Corellia spreading into the core worlds there. And then you also have this kind of funny foot race that's going on to Starlight Beacon, which is probably the last of we'll see of like anything on Starlight Beacon, because they've been putting a lot of information with the High Republic of the Starlight Beacon's basically to be destroyed in the next book. So enjoy it while you last. Jedi there on Starlight Beacon having fun and all that, because it's going to be pretty much the opposite of fun coming out in the beginning of January with the Fallen Star. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to just kind of start us right into this thing, because I know this is a pretty long movie, and I just want to get going with this thing. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm going to count it down. We're streaming here on Disney Plus, Revenge of the Sith. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. And there we go with that fanfare, Fox. Never gets old.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that whole John Williams, or I guess not John Williams, but that whole fanfare is classic. I'm just kind of surprised that the sequel trilogy didn't use some type of like fanfare, because I know there's like an old Disney one that they used back in like the 30s and 40s. That'd been kind of dope. I would have been cool with that.
And we have Aaron Daly joining us for our live stream. Welcome, everybody.
I really enjoy this opening crawl. It's probably one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah.
It just gets right into it. Like it's no BS. You know, what is it? The first word is war. I mean, you know,
it's
and
war.
this is what before obviously the Clone Wars came out, so we had no idea like actually what all entailed with the Clone Wars itself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That right. We had the micro series, so it was like okay. I watched the micro series like right before this, and it's like oh, we get to see this General Grievous character with his heart kind of crushed by Mace Windu. What's going on here? You know. But up until this time, guys, this was a moment in time, which is far fetched to us now with where we are with Disney, where this was literally the last Star Wars movie. It was a bittersweet moment where it was like, this is it. I believe, I would have been about 15 years old. And at this point, I think I was already playing through the Revenge of the Sith video game beforehand. Because I think, Milton, you mentioned that it had come out like a couple months before the actual movie did, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Oh, it's fire, dude. I mean, let's be real here. We all knew what the plot was going to be pretty much.
Yeah.
But because I'd have been, this one in 05, I'd have been like 18 when this came out. Oh, actually, yeah, I'd have been 17 or 18, just turning 18 soon.
This is honestly, I think, the best battle we've seen in all of Star Wars. I mean, and just the way you're just like, okay, you're seeing a Star Destroyer here, and then it just pans around, and you hear that music, the drums.
Boom. Yeah, well, I don't think the drums was in the soundtrack, but yeah, like just this intro is so fire. Again, this is the best intro in Star Wars. Like besides the original New Hope, but I think this one's number 2. Just because obviously New Hope was the original thing, but go ahead, Ben.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say I totally agree with you. I think, you know, if you think about it, this is by far the best intro of the prequels. This is arguably, arguably in the discussion with the entrance of A New Hope, and I would say it's better than Empire or Return of the Jedi's intro. And then for the sequel trilogy, I think it's better than all 3 of those movies' intros. And then I would say it's better than Rogue One and better than what's the other one? Solo's entrances as well. I think just from the music, the action, like just all of this, like it just really sets the tone of like the importance of the moment.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably what was in the back of George Lucas's mind in 1975 or something when he was writing the first Star Wars. It's like, obviously, this stuff couldn't have happened back then. And this is kind of like his swan song out. Like, George Lucas was like, I'm putting everything I have into making this epic battle to pull you in, because you're automatically engaged. When there's this much stuff going on, you look in the background, there's just so much freaking detail. The way that this thing came out like 16 years ago, and it looks just on par with just about everything else right now. It's just a testament to how good this stuff is.
And
you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say one quick thing before we get too far into this movie. So how you were saying about, this was like the last Star Wars movie, we were expecting. I have a funny story about that. So I remember, I was in only 5th grade. I was like 11 or 12 at the time. And I remember my grandma specifically telling me, she's like, oh, don't worry, Ben. She said, that's definitely not the last Star Wars movie. There's too much money to be made with these movies for them never to make them again.
Facts. Yeah. Your grandmother clearly had the Force and she can see the future. And honestly, I think, I guess to build upon that, I think we all thought that just because, again, George Lucas always said, well, I'm not going to give this property up. I'm going to let it be what it is. Obviously, we had the books, and we all imagined what the other movies would be like if they did a sequel trilogy, or because I know at one point they were talked about doing 12 total films back in like the 70s and 80s. But God, look, this still holds up, man. Like, I'm gonna say it the whole time. These graphics for 2005 still hold up in 2021.
Oh man,
and it gets better even with the HD TVs that we have.
Yep.
So like it's fire, dude.
Yeah, because all the movies are now in 4K. I'm watching on a 2K monitor, and it looks just so freaking good.
Yeah, it looks good. So I love how with this particular film, Anakin's relationship with Obi-Wan, you can clearly see that they have a bond. That they're not just master and student. They're very much our brothers in arms. Obviously, Anakin still respects him as his master, but you can clearly see, like Obi-Wan talked about in New Hope, he was like a brother in some way, shape, or form. Like, you see that here.
Oh,
and even how he talks to him later.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait. We're getting that book called Brotherhood or something like that coming out in May. It's literally how
Yep.
they both get promoted and then they become more of the relationships we see here. Because a couple weeks ago we watched Attack of the Clones, and you see that kind of very anxious Anakin, and he's in a state where it's just he's disagreeing with Obi-Wan in front of people. It's like you can't be doing that stuff. He's acting like a fool, and now they're more on par with each other. It's really cool seeing that
Right.
3-year gap, and that's what we'll get in the Clone Wars. But yeah, just fantastic
Right.
how the growth happened between these two characters here.
Well, I mean, that's like in real life though too. Though I mean, we've all been there, and I'm sure we all can relate. Like we've all had those older friends that at first we really admired them, we respected them, we looked up to them. But as we became older and started to become more mature and more independent, that relationship slightly changed.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of started challenging them a little bit more, started being more independent. So that's just part of life, and I love how Luke is really dived into that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, a lot of people can probably relate to that with their with even their parents, I would say.
Yeah.
Like with your parents, you go from potentially arguing as like a little kid, just getting mad randomly about something versus like if you're going to argue with your parents, say now, being in your late 20s, early 30s, it's going to be more like logic based, like, hey, this is the reason why versus like I'm just mad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed that the shields are still up? I love this movie. Dude,
so great.
I know. Man, if I was a pilot, bro, I'd be trying this stuff all the time. I can't even fly.
There we go.
The good part about this is I just love how this movie really shows Anakin's piloting skills because we saw a little bit of it. We saw a little bit of it in the prior 2 movies, but never really with a starfighter.
No.
So it's just cool seeing him piloting because it has to connect somehow to A New Hope of him being a good TIE fighter pilot.
Right.
And just the way they wipe the floor with these droids, you just see the sabers popping out. And, it's just epic Jedi action right here.
Yeah, they're so proficient. It's like they, what Lucas did a good job at letting these guys earn like their powers and like their abilities. Like we saw from each movie how good Anakin was becoming, how Obi-Wan from episode 1 to now, how so good he is as a saber user. Like we clearly believe that these guys are that good Jedis, that they're that nice and no one can touch them.
Yeah, and we see at the end of Attack of the Clones, Anakin just charges Count Dooku. Is like, no, I'm gonna take him now. Like he doesn't even care about his aggression and any patience. Yeah. And then we see how their encounter goes this time with Count Dooku. But in walks
Grievous.
In walks Grievous. What were your guys' first reactions to Grievous when you first seen this?
Go ahead, Ben.
I don't know. I thought I was excited about it watching it because, as I've said plenty of times before, I love the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. So I was like, man, that's like exactly what I imagined from that anime show, to be what Grievous is, like him hacking and coughing around. I was like, oh, wow, George actually connected that, to those Clone Wars series where he gets his like chest damage. So I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a good intro. And it also is nice because it puts in perspective of like how big Grievous is compared to like normal people.
Right. I thought him as the pre-Darth Vader. Like this is the technology hasn't caught up yet, or it's getting there. I feel like I don't know like canon or non-canon. Like I don't know if Palpatine or Dooku sabotaged Grievous so he can get in like that suit or whatever he's in. I feel like the technology isn't caught up to where we can put a man into cybernetics yet. And I think he was kind of like the experiment.
Yeah. Well,
so
he was
Go ahead.
So he's a Kalish warrior, and he actually volunteered to just like his hatred was just like I want to be cybernetically enhanced. I want to be able to just have more ability. So he volunteered to actually be put into that way he is now. But yeah, that's the whole thing with like George Lucas is like he wanted to make Grievous as like a thing for like Anakin to be like this is what Anakin's gonna basically turn into by the end of the movie.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too, because you see I think what his brains and like his lungs and stuff at one point. You can clearly see some of that in that little pocket that he has. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're just showing like the tech really isn't there yet, or starting to like evolve when it comes to cybernetics and humanoids.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like and it's a cool thing hearing what's like in canon, like him volunteering for it, because like Milton mentioned, in old legends, Palpatine actually sabotaged Grievous's ship because he viewed Grievous as like a great warrior similar to what he is in canon now. But they're like, let's just sabotage this guy's ship, basically almost kill him, and then basically say, hey, we have an opportunity for you. We can save you, blah blah blah, and that's how Palpatine got Grievous to join with him, and like in the Legends material.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just a fun action sequence here with R2 and the Super Battle Droid. Just
Yep.
R2 kicking complete ass here.
Dude, R2's that guy. Like he's awesome.
Really utilizing those jets proficiently there.
This is probably my favorite part of the movie. I ain't gonna lie. Like just this particular fight, I love this part. I think I watched this like when it first came out on DVD. I think I burned this DVD up like multiple times a day watching this. I love this duel. I mean, I just love the interaction. I don't know. They just feel like they're just these badass cowboys that just won't be touched. Like they feel really confident compared to the first time they fought Dooku. Now, obviously, this sentence has a lot more meaning than what it did before, because we didn't realize that Obi-Wan and Anakin fought Dooku multiple times in the Clone Wars. But it's a different perspective now if you look at it differently. You're no match for him. He's a Sith Lord. Look at how confident and cocky Obi-Wan is.
Yeah.
Love that.
There's only one part of this entire sequence with Dooku I don't like.
Which part?
And it's the part we'll get to when he throws Obi-Wan to the side, like just the way it was edited. I was like, when that big steel thing like pushes Obi-Wan's body, it's like, what is going on here? But other than that, this whole scene is amazing.
Yeah.
So many memes in this scene.
Man, they look good fighting.
I've been
100%. Like I love seeing Dooku fight.
Right? Like he is one of the best swordsmen in all of the galaxy. Like this guy, if you go against him one-on-one, most of the time, you're gonna lose. Most of the time. Like that's why he created his saber the way his hilt is like curved. It's like more of a duelist saber.
All right, you talking about right here, Ben?
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Just because watch the way like his body moves. It's so like when that platform falls on Obi-Wan, it like pushes his body.
He should have had like his hip broken or something.
Like, I was gonna say like Obi-Wan wouldn't have been using the Force. He was knocked down. Anakin was occupied. Like it just was edited weird in my opinion.
Sense great fear in you, Scout. I love that's a great line right here. Anakin just taps him. I was like, all right, you called me on it. And it's that look he gives. I love this saber action. It's so dope.
We have a couple comments in the chat here. We have Aaron Daly saying, I remember when I went to see this in the theaters, I was the only one who saw the micro series. My dad seeing Grievous for the first time. His reaction was, where did this guy even come from? Yeah, I could see that happening. You got Chris. You got Milton's brother here. The Grievous story got retconned too, didn't it? I am not sure. We haven't gotten the actual story yet. There's just been
we don't think we've gotten the actual canon version of it.
There's been like footnotes in like some of the resource books. Like he was volunteered for this, and that's basically all we know about it.
Right. So Anakin's just gonna cut off heads like it's nothing. Like when I saw that, I think me and my brother went to the theaters and watched this. Now that I think about it, I think I took Chris with me, and I think when I saw him cut off his head, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like Anakin's no joke. And
I like how
go ahead.
You could hear like a Darth Vader breath when he does it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you hear the Sand People when he talks about them, the Tuskens. Yeah. So in the book, if you guys have read the novelization or the audio book, this scene actually goes into more detail between Palpatine and Dooku prior to the match, because Dooku knows that. It's insinuated that Dooku knows that Palpatine is, Tyrannus or is Sidious, and he's like, "Oh, you got to make the match convincing. You're gonna lose. Like let them like take you in so you can be a prisoner." It's crazy if you go back and read the book, because I'm just thinking, whoa, like they really like gave us a lot more. Like I wish they would have put that in here, but I'm glad they didn't too.
Yeah, well, they literally like in the book, Chris. I'm not sure if you'd read it, but in that like. Basically, before Obi-Wan and Anakin walk in there Palpatine's giving Dooku the whole pregame speech, basically,
Yes.
like minutes before they walk in.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Chris, you got to listen to read it, but listen to the audio version too, because because how they talk, you're like, does he know that he's Sidious? But then you're like, wait a minute, he has to know. It's like it's weird. He's like, well, he's like about to walk in, and he's
Yeah.
like, get prepared, and I'm like, whoa, like really? And like
Yeah.
it plays out perfect. So I mean, if anyone's watching this or listening to us, check out the book or the audio book of it. I think Matthew Stover wrote that book.
Okay.
Yep.
And I believe Jonathan Davis or Mark Thompson, they're the narrators for the audio version. It's legit.
Now, this is the kind of stuff I was really hoping to get from Rise of Skywalker. You know, you have like a million ships, but we never cut to see any of the
Facts.
capital ships like fighting. It's like so brief. It was a letdown. I was like, they could have done so
Yeah.
much more with the space battle with the First Order ships and all that. And you
Right.
never see capital ships like shooting each other.
See, and you know what? You
Well-
bring up a great point. Bring up a great point. This is what you're right. We were missing this in the sequel trilogy. The type of battles in space like this. You know, it's like, come on, because Lucas knew this would be the last movie he's going to make. So he really gave us a lot with these space battles. This is probably the biggest army we've ever seen in Star Wars at this time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Rogue One
Oh,
did a
for
really
sure.
great job with doing like a good modern space battle in Star Wars. But everything else
Right.
kind of fell short. This is the only part that I don't really like so much is like the stupid elevator stuff. It's like goes up, it goes
Right.
down. Before he jumps through
I-
the roof beforehand, it's like, all right.
I love all the behind the scenes stuff for this though, like the extra scene.
Oh, it's so
like,
cringy.
it's so cringy, but it's so much fun. Like
I can see why
like,
they
and the
cut it
cool-
out.
Yeah, the cool part about some of the behind the scenes stuff, that's part of the video games too. Like when the scene where they're climbing through the pipes and having the
Yeah.
super battle droids chase them through the pipes, that's part of the Revenge of the Sith video game.
Don't they have like special like melee claws? I remember that. They
Yeah.
have like
Yep.
these special like claws that they're meleeing you with.
Yep.
Patience.
The ray shield.
See,
or
I
the thing they
love
got.
this banter. Again, like they're just having that brotherly talk back and forth, a little bit of sarcasticness mixed in it. You know, obviously R2's bringing the humor at this point.
I love how fast he hits that wall.
This is just well done though. It's well done for what the scene needed to be, in my opinion. Like, yes, it's
Oh,
serious.
sure.
People got to think, oh, best Star Wars got to be badass all the time and serious. No, it don't. You need these humor moments to balance it out. So it leads into the next part, which is this part with Grievous, you know, capturing them.
But it's good natural humor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
And
love.
we saw this in
yeah.
the Clone Wars cartoons. We saw that humor in the cartoons.
Yep. Man, we did miss out on that Shock T cut scene. I would have preferred that to be
Yeah, I forgot about that.
She died
She gets-
like 3 different times.
I was about to say, yeah. Like she gets killed in Revenge of the Sith video game, The Force Unleashed. Like they're just killing her all the time. It's ridiculous.
Anakin killed her in the temple too.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are just tuning in, we are just about 19 to 20 minutes into the actual film of Revenge of the Sith. We're at the moment where Grievous
Yeah.
is about to interrogate Obi-Wan and Anakin before they spring a trap on him.
Right. Yeah, it's about 1930, I think, or 1926, 27, 28. Yeah.
I just love seeing Hayden so much because it's like, holy smokes, guys, we're going to be seeing him
Yeah.
looking very similar to what we're seeing right
Right.
now.
Look how badass
Uh-huh.
he is, that saber.
Oh, when
You're
he
right,
used the
man.
Force
He's
to
so-
grab
he's so
that.
dope.
I'll tell you what, these Magna Guards, I love the design. I've always loved how they looked and the weaponry they use and the proficiency
Right.
with using the electro stabs.
Oh yeah. Oh, you definitely tell they're threats to the Jedi, like how they fight.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, Anakin and Obi-Wan will wreck them, no, without question. But they're nice. They're not,
But like
you
he
know,
beheads them
stormtroopers.
and it still fights.
Yeah.
With one arm, it's swinging. Like, that's awesome. I love the reaction
So-
of Palpatine when he gets
This is one of my gripes about the Star Wars world right now. It's seeing saber duels like this or saber movements, and we haven't seen this in a while. We need more of this. Like we need
Yeah.
these guys being proficient with sabers, and I'm like, this
Or-
movie is so great because of it.
Wait, but we got
Yeah,
it in The
or-
Mandalorian. I thought that was pretty
Well,
cool.
yeah, with Luke and all that. Like, that was dope. But I mean, like in the movies, man.
Yeah, he's talking on screen and not Vader in Rogue One. Like, yeah, I totally agree, Milton. Like, the thing is, and if you're not going to do like a lot of these proficient saber moves and things, the saber fights need to be like an epic scale. Like in Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back or even A New Hope, obviously practically they couldn't be
right.
All acrobatic, but they were epic enough because of like the implications and just the way they were shot. And I mean, having those type of saber fights are better than not having any whatsoever.
I agree. And here's the thing, Ben, you agree with me on this. That served the purpose of the story. Like, it made sense story-wise how they fought in the original trilogy.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you think about we'll get back to Revenge of the Sith in about 40 seconds, but like just to like wrap that part up real quick, like Luke wasn't trained really by like these masters of the prequel era, so of course he was going to fight like a rookie versus Darth Vader, and even going into Return of the Jedi, I mean, Vader still was at the top of his game basically, so it's not like Luke was going to walk all over him.
Right. Facts.
Oh,
I love this. I love this, man.
Just the ship breaking apart.
Something broke or something came apart. We lost something. Love it. Again, I'm thinking, how are they gonna get out of this? This is ridiculous.
Their banter is just so good, man.
Yeah.
I really hope we get Clone Wars flashbacks in Obi-Wan. I gotta get more of this relationship, man.
I hope so. Like, I honestly think we will. I think we'll get more of this. Obviously, I think they'll tie it into whatever particular scene that they're with, but again, this scene is so well done, man. You get to see such a different side of these guys.
I like to
how
see
they manage themselves in crises.
Yeah, and I like to see how they enter the atmosphere of Coruscant, going from the outer stratosphere into the actual like upper limits of the clouds. Right. And you get to see a whole different side of Coruscant.
Absolutely.
And then I love these guys. These like little like fire department dudes in the ships.
I know. I remember back then I got those little fire department guys because my dad's a volunteer. He's still a volunteer firefighter. And I remember I got that for my dad. I was like, hey, here's your Star Wars figure. That's you.
They actually made a figure. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. That's such an obscure 5-second character. Which they made their money off of making 5-second character figures, but
yeah, I had 2 of those guys actually.
Nice.
I like that shot where it goes all the way from the outside to the faces through the glass there. That's cool editing.
Yep.
Another happy landing.
I always say that. I say that every time I get off an airplane. I just say another happy landing, and people just like look. They're like, "Oh, he's a Star Wars guy."
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
That was one hell of a beginning. Yeah. Holy crap!
So now we're going to see the Republic, the politicians, and this is pretty cool. I like this scene. Just get to see like how they're really like all about Palpatine. Like, you can just see this. Again, the good banter between these two characters, like it's, see, one of my problems, I get irritated with people that want to shit on the prequels. They'll be like, oh, Anakin's relationship with Obi-Wan, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute. George Lucas wrote it well in his movie, especially the first half of it. You know, we got to see that they were actually on the same page. They were really tight. Mm-hmm. They've been through some battles together. They formed a bond that we know nothing about. And they name dropped Cato 9 more there, which I wish we would have gotten more of.
Wait, we're getting that in that book.
Yeah. We are?
Yeah, that book, the Brotherhood book I was mentioning.
Can't wait. But yeah, just seeing the relationship that was created by George Lucas it was well done in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. And like the thing is too, like with Hayden or with Anakin, a lot of people forget. He got criticized in even this movie for like some of the one-liners that he gave, and things like that. But that stays on pat, or like that tracks with the Vader character from the original trilogy, because Vader, said those one-liner type thing, apology accepted, Captain Nita. Like, those things those are funny little haha one-liners for us, the audience. Right. And
well, he did that in Rogue One.
Yeah, and don't choke on your aspirations, Commander Krennic or whatever. Like like that. It tracks. It tracks with Vader.
I agree.
There you go. You see Anakin talking with Bail, the leader of the rebellion. Little does he know that he's gonna have to decimate his planet 20 years later.
Right. Yeah. Anakin's like, "Oh, my boo's here. I'm about to go get some love from my girl."
Yeah. Little do a lot of these actors know they're going to come back for the Kenobi series most likely in 2022.
Right.
Oh man.
So tell me what you guys' thoughts about Padme in this film. Do you think she was used properly throughout this film?
Not really.
Actually, I'll let Chris go first.
She needed more screen time, and she needed more to do. I feel like she was.
I agree.
I've always heard. I mean, I've heard it for years now. The reason why she wasn't in this movie very much, apparently, between episode 2 and this movie, she said something about George Lucas or criticized him or whatever. So it sounded like he basically sidelined her for this movie. Is what the behind the scenes stuff. It sounded like there was some type of drama between her and Lucas, and that's why.
I mean, they certainly built up one hell of a character for her through the Clone Wars and all the ancillary material and stuff like that. But the movie, it's just like, damn,
So if you guys were Anakin right now and you heard that you're pregnant, what are your thoughts and your reactions going to be? Because he's too calm about it, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is trying to go all around the galaxy, be a Jedi, and battle these wars and everything else. Like, that's the last thing he needs to worry about as a kid right now.
Yeah. Now you're gonna be a baby daddy. Let's go.
All of this happening in secret.
Facts. I'm sure he's got to be stressed out no matter what. Well, but go ahead.
Well, we see in the Clone Wars, like, she's obviously pregnant, and he's talking to her, and it's like, dude, you don't know she's pregnant? Maybe he already knows that she was pregnant, and that's why he's already calm.
Well, I guess Padme's gaining a bit of weight when I'm gone.
Yeah. Maybe she's eating that candy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I tell you what, I love the music to this scene. I think this is called Grievous Speaks to Sidious or whatever, and he just comes in. One, he just ignores the whole entire war council, which I think is amazing because he's like, I don't care about you guys. Hacking up a lung, needs to go talk to Sidious. But yeah, he just walks past these guys like they don't matter.
Oh.
Yeah. See how the war council's right there? The separatists? Yeah, just ignores them.
Here we go. I got to mark that off of my checklist as one thing I never noticed before.
Yeah, just walks past the war council like it's nothing. I'm like, okay, our leader got killed. You don't want to tell us? But Lord Sidious.
Man, poor Grievous. He's only the leader of the Separatists for a few months.
You ain't lying. Mustafar. I was like, what is Mustafar? That's a cool planet name.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see it later. Again, Palpatine, dude. He's the most patient villain of all time in movie cinema, in my opinion. Seriously, you wait 20 plus years to exact your revenge, and now you know how it's going to play out pretty much.
Yeah, the politics. It's all about the politics.
Well, realistically, though, how long? It could have been longer than that, Milton, because leading into Phantom Menace, the Sith were quote unquote like extinct or like disappeared. Right. So that means Palpatine would have had to been planning this since he was younger. Whenever he killed Plagueis.
True. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're right. It's got it. You're right. 30 plus. However he started this, but even back to Padme. I know you guys talked about she didn't get enough screen time. So there is evidence and there is display art. I think there's a video out there too where one of the creators of the art and one of the cinematography guys said there was a scene in this movie that was going to be shot where at the end of Mustafar, Padme had a knife and she was going to stab Anakin. She was going to, So I don't know why they took that out, but they do have the concept art, and there's a guy who talks about it on YouTube. Go check it out, whoever's watching this or listening, because it's legit. Like, it's a really good story.
That's almost more heartbreaking to me if they would have had that in there, because it's like she's gonna kill the love of her life, but then he's in denial of everything else, and it's like, absolutely. Oh man,
think about it. It's so much like a Greek tragedy.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Love it. I mean, it shows how strong Padme is, though.
Yeah. Right.
Like, she'll do anything to save the Republic, even kill her freaking lover,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not like her lover; it's her husband, it's her
Yeah,
baby
like
dad. Like
the dad. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
yeah,
And this is kind of where things get a little crazy
right.
with the flash forward. I still don't know how I feel about that.
Anakin's so it looks like Anakin's super ripped now. Now, did you guys
Yeah.
not like? Well, I wish he would have got the tattoos. You remember in the
Clone
Gendy series,
Wars.
he had the
Yeah.
tattoos. Dude, I kind of wish he would have had him in a live action film.
That would have been amazing.
I don't know.
I think it would have been just
It'd be
adding,
kind of cool,
add a little
Chris.
more.
Yeah, just maybe a couple. Just be like, oh wait, like he's really like worn torn. He's got some battle scars. He's got some battle mementos. I mean, because military guys do get tattoos about their military service. So I think it would make sense if he actually had a couple.
True. And I just love the skyline on Coruscant. There was a lot of
Oh
time
gosh,
spent
yeah.
on Coruscant, and more than I think any other movie probably is on Coruscant in this movie.
I think some of the best parts of the prequels as a whole though are, just our exploration of planets.
Right.
And I like how they do the callback to that. I don't even know what it's called. That token he gave her in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know what.
Yeah, I forget too.
That's a nice like full circle moment, like going back to be like, yeah, they were really young when they first met each other. But as far as quiet moment here, one of the very few quiet moments in this movie because it is just jam packed. The pacing in this is really good.
Oh, for sure. And I think they improved these type of quiet scenes from the prior two movies. I feel like they were just paced a little better.
Right.
Yeah, and like one of the issues we had with Attack of the Clones is, they jump around too much. It could be a really slow scene, then a very interesting scene, and it kind of throws off everything. Whereas this definitely feels better as far as like the flow.
Well,
overall.
I think what we talked about too though was that the Anakin and Padme scenes, they just like were in dead water. It just threw everything off, and we said, we would stop talking whenever like the action would
Obi-Wan.
kick up.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever they would come on screen, we're like, all right, whatever. We already know this part. And in this movie, it's slightly better because it does tie into obviously what he's thinking, what he wants for his wife and his children. But yeah, it makes sense, and I actually enjoy their interaction in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, what? And also the hard thing for this movie, I think, is if you let Padme do her thing, it's gonna water down Obi-Wan and Grievous and Anakin and his stuff. So like, what's Padme gonna do? Are we gonna just have her in the Senate the whole time? Or is that really what people want to see at this point in time after the critiques of the prior two movies? We don't want politics, we don't want Senate, we don't want this. Like, so what if you have Padme have some type of a C plot storyline? How would that even tie into this movie?
Right. Now, this scene between Anakin and Yoda, love it, but it also pisses me off because clearly Yoda like does not see the amount of pain and hurt this kid is really getting. It's like you could have intervened quick to say, you know what, maybe our old ways aren't the best way to go about. Maybe we need to really look into things differently. He's like, nope, you gotta let your person die. It's okay. And it's like, no, dude, you got to talk to this guy.
Well, he already knew that he was doing weird stuff in Attack of the Clones. He felt it through the Force.
Yeah. Right?
Talking
And
to Mace
that's the
Windu
point.
about
It's like Yoda, you already know. This guy's super conflicted, and he's the chosen one.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Also, just from like a practical standpoint, if you're Yoda or Obi-Wan, even for that matter, or Mace Windu, why would we not explore Anakin having these feelings? Like, if he's the chosen one and he turns to the dark side, we're all screwed.
Yeah, clearly.
Like,
and that goes back to how dogmatic the Jedi is and how so caught up in their own ways of doing stuff. It's like, wait a minute, guys. Like, you clearly don't understand what it takes to be a true Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like
what's that word? The word that was used in The Last Jedi that Luke said. I can give Last Jedi credit for that.
Hubris.
Hubris. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's literally their hubris shows so much in, like, especially this movie.
Yeah. Well, that's a great transition. I mean, The Last Jedi, that particular scene, I actually did like. And once he says it, I popped right back into Revenge of the Sith. Like,
Yeah.
they were blinded by the hubris and let, he actually said Sidious rise, and become, I'm thinking, yo, that's smart writing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, I can give that scene props. But...
Yeah, this scene's amazing. Just him working on Anakin.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the extended scene for this before?
I didn't know there was an extended scene.
Yeah, there's an extended scene. It starts out more before they actually get to this walking component.
I just like looking around the room, seeing all these weird artifacts.
Yeah. Now, don't those little lights look like mini like TIE fighters or droid ships?
Yep.
Like that should tell you something. They'd be like, all right, man, old boy's running the droid army. Come on, bruh. Yeah, look at it. See, Palpatine knows what he's doing here. He's like, listen, I'm going to make the Jedi, question everything with you, blah, 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 but I'm not going to tell you all this. Like, he's thinking, Anakin's thinking he's helping him out.
Oh, yeah. And like the statues and stuff in like Palpatine's office are, they're supposed to be like the old, like the Sith and stuff or whatever.
Right, right.
There you go, Jedi Council. I love the holograms. Now you see them in the middle of the Clone Wars. These guys are not all around all the time. They're actually having to go out there and do something.
Well, just think, before this scene, Ahsoka was talking to the Council, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Just to throw that out there real quick.
Was it this one? You're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
I
thought it was the other one.
Oh, it might have been the next one. Never mind.
Yeah.
I actually have a Twitter thread I put out where I was able to connect Revenge of the Sith with all of the final season, the final arc of Star Wars, The Clone Wars. So that's one of the most tweeted things I have on my account. I'll be honest with you. Every day I get somebody retweeting that tweet or something. I'll have to try to find it and pin it for you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Ahsoka. Like, I'm curious to see how they're going to tie in her into some of this, into the Anakin show or the Obi-Wan show and some Revenge of the Sith, maybe clips or something. Because, like I said, again, we didn't know about him having an apprentice when this movie came out. I kind of wish if Lucas did, all he had to do was name drop her once, and I'd be like, okay, we're good, because then you can go back and look at all the material and say, oh, Ahsoka was there the whole time. Anakin was thinking of her throughout this time, You just look at this movie differently now that you know that she was around.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I love this back and forth. Calm down, Anakin. You've been given a great honor. Oh, come on with that BS.
That's literally like getting promoted and saying, hey, you're still getting your base minimum salary.
Yeah, miss me, bro. And Anakin's right. I didn't ask for this. But you did want it. Of course you would want it. That's like telling us, hey, you didn't ask to be promoted, but you wanted it, right? Of course. How stupid is that? Of course I'll take the promotion. It means more money, more opportunity. See, and this is where the Jedi screws up again, man. They just don't understand what they're doing is not good for this kid. They're not being true Jedis by asking them to do this. This is so bizarre. The war clearly shifted their thought processes.
That's the thing. They're supposed to be peacekeepers, not warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish more people could understand that, because I know people that will criticize this and say, well, Anakin's just being pouty and weird. Is wait a minute, he's probably the one that's most reasonable right now. He's we're not supposed to be doing this.
Well, look, Anakin's character, even up to the point where he has his confrontation with Mace later, we'll get into that, but he still is technically wanting to be like a Jedi then. Making Palpatine stand trial, which obviously that's for his own benefits, but still technically that still would be a Jedi thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anakin was really the most Jedi per se in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can make a good argument for that for sure.
I love how Obi-Wan turns out. He's like, no, it's the council. It's dude, you are on the council, bro. You had to sign off on this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to twist it. Oh, Anakin didn't take to his new assignment. Of course he wouldn't have. Like again, this is why like the Jedi to me, they're so bizarre in this movie. It's like, what are you guys thinking? You're making all the wrong choices, and you wonder why. And like Luke said, your own hubris brought you down. Your own cockiness and arrogance brought you down.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like if you even like let's just hypothetically throw in all the Clone Wars plus the Tartakovsky Clone Wars stuff. Like the Jedi at this point probably were feeling themselves like, hey, we're pretty much like gods. Like we're good. We're above all this. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. God, I can never get enough of Coruscant and seeing all this. Like this, yeah, I just love what we get in this movie with all this stuff. Now, this scene to me was always a little off to me, just because like Anakin does get upset with her, but I get why she's acting this way. I wish we would have got a little bit more backstory, and we kind of get it in the deleted scenes about what she's trying to do.
Yeah, the Rebel Alliance, right? She's like making the formation of that.
Yeah, like they very much insinuate that, like they need to like find some. It's like what the Treaty of something. It's like the Treaty of 20 or
something.
And there's Mon Mothma.
Like, okay.
Right? The Mon Mothma that is in Rogue One was in that deleted scene.
Yes.
And she's going to be in Andor. She's going to be returning in Andor as well.
Yeah,
that's
Genevieve
so cool.
O'Reilly.
Yeah, exactly. That's so cool how they could pull a character from a deleted scene and put him like that in. That's amazing.
And I wish, I think that deleted scene would have been perfect for this movie because it would have given this scene, I think, more depth and fleshed it out better.
I think
because you clearly see that he's conflicted with her now.
I think they could retroactively, like, if they do a flashback maybe or something, address that in Obi-Wan, because we got that screenshot of like the Rebel base, so there's obviously going to be Rebel stuff going on. Maybe they can address that somehow.
Right. Now the opera scene.
Oh, this is it. This is the scene.
Again, I wish Coruscant was real. Like I'm not even joking. If Coruscant was a real planet, I'm moving there.
Yeah, you guys want a fun little piece of tidbit of info too for anybody who owns an Alexa device. You can actually set it up. It's free, and you can do this whole scene of Palpatine and Anakin talking back and forth, and you just have to know Anakin's lines, and it's so freaking funny because literally, it's just funny hearing the Alexa device say Palpatine's lines back and forth, and like it ends with, her saying, "Not from a Jedi." Like it's so freaking funny.
Oh, I gotta try this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make a hot take here. I'm gonna just put it out there. This is the best scene in all of Star Wars ever. I'm just gonna say it. Like when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to projecting where a story is going to go.
Implications
and implications, how a character shifts his thought process and how the narrative is shifted. This is the best scene in Star Wars, in my opinion. I'm just gonna say it, and people may think I'm crazy, but Palpatine, Ian McDiarmid, steals this scene without question.
Yeah, he chews it up, man.
Oh my goodness! Like this is the first time I ever heard of Plagueis. And everyone loves that character. We just heard his name for the first time at the time when this came out. And they wrote a freaking book about that character. And we still want that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my goodness, this scene's so dope.
I think we'll still get a series at some point on Disney.
Yeah, at least something.
But yeah, just the way that the Sith work and the way he's able to weave in this story, this fable. And he's just insinuating it's just like I'm not saying I was the guy, but I heard this story before, and it gets him in. Like this is like that kill shot that gets him to just believe in what he's selling him.
Right.
And some of this stuff too, I just think to myself, man, Anakin potentially is like the best quote unquote Jedi in this movie, but even it's like Palpatine sitting here. Let's just say this old senator is saying all this stuff to you and you're not raising an eyebrow like, wait, bro, what are you talking about here? Like, this sounds pretty suspicious.
Yeah. But this is what typical George Lucas does. Like, he does a really good job pulling from mythology. And he pulls this from my opinion, this is very much, this is the snake in the Garden of Eden tempting Eve and saying, hey, God doesn't want you to really know what real power is. If you want to know what true insight or true sight is, take the bite of the apple. And what does she do? Take the bite of the apple. And this is what he's doing. He's dangling the apple in front of Anakin. He's pulling from mythology, he's pulling from some biblical stories. It's dope, man. That's a great way to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And especially up to this point, too, Palpatine and Anakin's relationship, how they've grown to this point. He's definitely playing that snake role perfectly.
Absolutely. See, right there, Anakin kind of checked him, but he's like, okay, well, let me try this real quick. Darth Plagueis, how dope is that? Psst.
Yeah, it's a weird thing they're watching.
Even though we have this on subtitles, I just get sucked into the scene.
Yeah.
He was a Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and wise. Man, getting chills, but even just reading it, this is dope.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Just the way he portrays that voice and delivers the lines
to create life. Right there, you're like, oh.
So did we ever come to the conclusion, is he projecting his younger look in this moment, or was his actual look the way he looked after he got zapped? Because is he projecting to Anakin right now this younger look? Does he actually look deformed?
No, I think the lightning did it to him.
Okay.
No.
I agree though, Chris, man. Opera or whatever in Star Wars, it's pretty weird looking entertainment.
I think somebody said it's like a Mon Calamari opera or something like that.
Right. Well, I know who is it? David Collins. He's one of he worked on music or sound for Lucasfilm. Yep. He said they were thinking it was going to be some type of opera thing, but there was no sound to it. It was very much like a visual opera type, So yeah, because he was I was kind of disappointed, but then once you see the visuals, you're like, oh, it makes sense. But yeah, is it possible to learn his power? And he gets him right here, not from a Jedi. Yeah, that's a great, great way to say dude, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Seriously, I'm not even joking. That scene is so dope.
Yeah,
man, I could reenact that scene right now with my device over there.
Damn, man!
This is what Kashyyyk.
I gotta get those Star Wars Legion miniature Wookiees in the mail. They're taking forever.
Are you doing a Kashyyyk miniaturization, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Well, I don't have the houses, just the figures,
Yeah.
Well, you should get some of the houses though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They came up with the Yoda minifigure, and then they have the Wookiees coming out. So. Mm-hmm.
I do love all the scout troopers and stuff.
I love how they have outfitted certain gear for certain planets. I think that's just so cool. You have the different companies and whatnot that have the certain Jedi general. It's a really cool organization.
See, if they let Anakin go to do this mission, there wouldn't have been no issue. But Palpatine knew what he was doing. He knew they say no.
There goes Chewie.
Gotta love it.
I love that clone trooper outfit.
Yeah, Commander Gree.
Now we've never seen an army of Wookiees until this, which is whoa, that's what's up. This battle low key is actually really, really good.
Oh, I wish we could see more of it.
Yeah. They're all doing the Tarzan swings and stuff. It's crazy.
I love these scout troopers, just firing down below, and then you got the spider droids, and oh man,
right. This is Normandy. Trenches. This is Normandy D-Day.
Yeah,
where they're storming the beaches.
Thermal detonators, or whatever they are.
Right.
The weird thing about it is too, Milton, is it's Normandy, but it's in reverse.
Yes. Good point. Now,
Yeah.
So
this
it's like
scene
the-
right here. Go ahead, Chris. Or go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah. I mean, it's literally just Normandy in reverse, like the
Right.
bad way.
Yeah.
No, this
Now,
scene
this
right
scene right
here is
here.
the last meeting of them as friends.
Yes, this scene's important because this is Anakin again, I think, trying to reach out to show like he needs someone to listen to him. He needs someone to understand what he's coming through. And Obi-Wan doesn't downplay it, but he doesn't really quite see what he needs to do. He should have stayed. If Obi-Wan stays, he'd be okay. But Palpatine, I think, beat Anakin down so much with manipulating him. It's like having that battered wife syndrome where like it's like you're trying to reach out for help, but you don't know how to, and people just don't see the signs. It's weird. Like I think Anakin really was trying to say, "Hey, I need someone to like listen to me, be a support," but everyone's like, "Nah, you'll be fine. Let me just do what I got to do." And it's like, eh. And see how his face changes here at the end? Like he's alone again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can tell the contemplation there on his face.
Yeah, like that scene's such important. And if
But-
only if only Obi-Wan realized, something's really wrong with him.
But like they say, goodbye, old friend. I'm just wondering if they're ever gonna get close again, like in the Obi-Wan series. How heartbreaking would it be if they actually have like a moment where they agree about something and then something intervenes and then they become enemies again?
Right.
There we go. We got
I
Tamar
wonder-
Morrison. We'll be seeing him in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Gosh, can't wait. I'm just so happy Tamara Morrison's back.
Yeah, he is certainly a treasure for the fans, man. The guy's just such a good human being and a lot of character out of him.
The best part about him is, he loves Star Wars. Like he was excited. He was one of the more vocal actors, like being excited about coming back to play Jango or Boba / clones or whatever. He loves it. So it's cool seeing actors like who actually love the property.
So does Anakin have a PSP just now? He just put that down? Yeah, he had a Star Wars PSP.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
you need it in these times.
Right.
Yeah. We are currently, for
Anakin's
those
like-
of you just turning up. Sorry, go ahead.
I was to say, she was saying that Obi-Wan was there. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? See, again, he's asking for help again. Like, if they would just listen to this guy, I feel lost. If someone tells me they feel lost, I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on with you?
Yeah, you're not going to go, well, that's cool. Anyways, how's your day going? Or what are your plans today?
Like, I'm not the Jedi I should be. Like, bro, his guy needs to be heard. He needs help.
Yeah, that's a little red flag, I would say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, and like, even like Padme says, it's okay. Like, you're just in your head. Don't worry about nothing. He's like, no, like, I know there's something's going on.
It's the whole thing, Milton, of like, in a football game, like a quarterback's thrown 5 picks in the game, and he's like, "Oh, coach, I just don't got it today." Just shake it off. Go back out there.
Shake
and
it off.
keep
Shake it
throwing.
off.
Like,
Yeah.
like you can't do that. Like, especially with someone like Anakin, who literally has the fate of the galaxy pretty much resting on his shoulders. Like,
Yep. He's their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, pretty much. He's the
Like,
Tom Brady.
No lie.
We got to talk about the planets that George Lucas puts in this movie. They are the best, most unique creations of any of the planets. From a sinkhole city to later we'll see Felucia and everything with Order 66, Mustafar.
Right.
It's just such creative stuff. I mean, the sequel trilogy, they have some pretty basic planets for the most part.
Yeah.
Forest planets, snow planets, desert
No
planets.
chances taken. So this guy wearing corduroys? Because that's what it looks like he's wearing. This
That's
alien.
definitely what that looked like.
Right. So Chris, back to the planet. So Utapau, I think they built this as a model, like originally.
Mhm.
And then obviously they take the camera and
Yep.
film into it. That's pretty dope. And again, if people know how these films were made, they would assume it's all digital. Oh no, a lot of models were used for like these planets. Like, and that's what I love about Star Wars, especially back in the early 2000s. Like they still went to those old practical effects of making Star Wars. Man, Obi-Wan's that dude. He's like, oh, I'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's ready to take action. We got the Magna Guard watching out.
Now I've always wondered how the heck did Obi-Wan like not have the separatist see where he got out of his ship? Because like the
Yeah.
ship flies away and then like he's like hiding away somewhere. I'm like, wait, how did he pull that off? Yeah, see, I'm like, wait, wasn't he just in the ship? Now, what is this called? I forget this particular dragon or whatever.
Oh, I don't even know if I ever knew the name. I know this is called a basilisk. Are you talking
Okay.
about this thing or the thing that was flying in there like a pterodactyl?
No, the dragon that he's on currently. that
Oh,
he's
it's
riding.
called a basilisk or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I just know I always feel so sad for it when it gets blasted off the cliff.
No, it's not a basilisk. That's the thing with the 4 arms. It's called a varactyl. That's what it is.
Okay.
Mhm.
But it's got a name. I know there is a name for it.
That's one creature in Star Wars I would want for sure. It's one of those things.
They're just so mobile. Like they can climb up like a cliff and then just jump like dozens of feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This level in the game was awesome.
Oh, for sure, Milton. I know you and me are thinking so much about the Revenge of the Sith game, but
Dude,
it's
no,
true.
this
Like,
video.
the
this
game
whole
plays
level-
through all of this.
Yes, it's hard though because like you got to like fight through all like the different levels.
For
Yep.
those of you that are interested, you can actually download the game on Xbox now because they put it up there backwards compatible. So
Yeah,
Go-
fire.
go
dude,
have
fire.
fun.
Look at and dude, Obi-Wan's a boss, man. Like how badass is he just jumping in front of everybody? and say, all right,
Talk about
Like-
confidence. He just jumps in front of like hundreds of droids that can kill him in an instant.
those 2 words, hello there. That's
Yeah.
become that's become a great tagline.
Oh man. At New York Comic Con, they literally just redid this whole scene with Matthew Wood and some guy
Yeah.
went up to the mic to ask him a question. They went through that whole thing. It was hilarious.
Nice. Well, speaking of Matthew Wood, he's the voice of Grievous, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, look at that. Anakin.
I love how the guy
Obi-Wan's
tries to
fire.
grab his weapon and just gets beheaded.
All right. I ain't
Oh,
gonna lie.
nice
Anytime
stuff.
I use a lightsaber, I do the Obi-Wan like 2-finger thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Look at this. Oh man, I wonder how they shot this, especially with the 4 arms. Like it's crazy how they would have shot this with 4 arms. You know, they had to have had like some people on their shoulders or something. This can't just be all computer.
Wait, it's got to be all CGI, right? I mean,
You would think maybe, but I mean, you would think like with how they're using the sabers. I don't know.
There is some amazing cosplay. I've seen cosplay like videos of people that actually put together a Grievous suit, and it looks pretty realistic.
I thought I saw a thing before where it was like behind the scenes thing where they had like attached the lightsabers where they were like spinning and like on like an actual like some type of a mechanical thing, like
Maybe.
just to get like the lightsabers swinging around
the
shots
reference
at least.
points, yeah. Right.
Yeah, the reference points for the CG.
Right. Dude, how nice
I mean,
is he
but
with
it
a
just
saber?
shows you that, like, oh yeah, you can give a machine lightsabers, but if you don't have any sensitivity to the Force, you're still going to be at a disadvantage to a Jedi Master, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the
Dude,
crazy thing is
Obi-Wan
Grievous
that
does
guy.
pretty good, you know, for being not having the Force.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was trained by Dooku. You know, I'm assuming his skills would have gotten so proficient. Obviously, again, Chris makes a good point. If you're not naturally force sensitive, you can't really understand the timing. Just feel how a saber is being used. Yeah.
I love that zooming in on his eyes. That is so
Yep.
effing creepy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this boss moment. Yeah, that's definitely a force moment right there. Derek Jeter right there.
Oh man.
Again, there's just no fear with Obi-Wan. Like I just love that.
I think we're gonna get something similar like that too. I think we're gonna get some type of epic battle like this between Vader and Kenobi during
Yeah.
the Kenobi show, like an epic scale fight like this.
Yeah, I think we could see the
right.
Rebels and the Empire maybe in a battle going on as they're fighting.
Yep.
Now, this scene, I believe, now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I believe Steven Spielberg
Yep,
directed this particular stuff,
he
right?
did. Yep, yep.
Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of Indiana Jones influence in this particular like chase
Oh,
scene.
this scene reminds me of something from like that tank scene and all that.
Yes. I'm kind of surprised you never had Steven Spielberg direct a Star Wars movie. I know him and Lucas are like best of friends. Him, Brian De Palma, and all those
I
guys
think
back in the day.
I honestly think it has to do with just Lucas, and like they're good friends and all, but Lucas wanted his hands to be in it so much, and Spielberg likes to do his thing.
True. Right.
I think that's probably why, and that could maybe strain their friendship.
Yeah. So this is the scene you were talking about. I think Ahsoka was there
This is
before
the
Anakin
scene.
walked in.
Oh yeah, this is the scene. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Because it's when Kiadi says, "What about the attack on the Wookiees?"
Yeah.
God, that's been memed thousands of times.
I sent a plot to destroy the Jedi. You damn right. About time.
It's a little too late now.
Yeah. See, I ain't gonna lie. So back in 2005, I believe President Bush was in office. Okay, and when 9/11 went down, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, like this story sounds just like Revenge of the Sith. Like he started a war, manipulated the war. Blah. I'm like, is George Bush like Emperor Palpatine? Legit thought that in high school, dude. I'm not kidding. When I was a freshman in high school, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm like George Bush is Palpatine, dude. Like he started 9/11. How bizarre was my thinking back in early 2000s? It was ridiculous. But that's how much I love the Star Wars. I watched it all the time.
Well, Milton, that's pretty conservative to what you see on Twitter nowadays. So.
Oh, facts, dude. Oh, well, Twitter. God, if Twitter was around during 9/11, God, it'd been over. But yeah, look how Palpatine here is just like, I hear what you're saying. I get it. The Jedi don't understand you. They don't get you, but I do. Blah blah blah. He's just playing with his head, man.
I love the cinematography for this scene, just the way the camera's slowly moving.
Yeah,
Right.
I noticed that. Yeah, it's a lot more personalized,
More personalized, more almost
intimate.
creepy too. Like Palpatine could get ready to just jump at any. Like he's the Sith Lord by now. Like
they don't trust you, Anakin. Again, I feel like anyone could be manipulated by this guy. Like no matter what, it's like he knows how to get in your head and makes you feel a certain way. Now, I was surprised how very much open he was here to reveal himself. But I loved how he did it too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, this is your, I guess, Hail Mary big shot moment though, because what if Anakin just says, sorry, this isn't going to work on me. Now it's time to arrest you. Like,
Yeah.
You have to be confident Anakin's going to turn by this point in time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's been just goading him for years, like a dozen years at least, for just getting under his skin, getting these ideas implanted in his brain for when the time of his spring, and everything goes into effect.
Only through me. I love that sentence. And then this is where the freaking wife. I love how manipulating he is too when he drops his wife and smiles. I'm like, bro, look at that.
I think just the way they shot Ian McDiarmid, he looks more like evil in this scene compared to the scenes leading up to this, though.
Right. But thinking about it, he's dropping his facade. His natural mask is showing.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm not being Sheev Palpatine right now. I'm being Sidious.
Yep.
I keep looking at this rock scene behind them, like, what is going on in this thing? There's like somebody that looks like Luke Skywalker with a saber and everything. What is that?
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Plagueis, one of these statues or something. I feel like or they're like the deities like that worship Plagueis or whatever, because I've seen people talk about the scene before, because it's like when all the Jedi were in his office, didn't any of them see the statues of these ancient Sith? Like, didn't that raise a red flag? Like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's insane. I will quickly discover the truth of all this. I love the music build up in this scene too. The wife, how to say Padme? Yeah, Yeah, Palpatine, he's just like,
Yeah,
listen,
and
man,
you know the
it's all on
best.
the table.
Yeah, and you know the best part about all that stuff is too, like if Anakin would have tried anything on Palpatine there, he would have been taken out by Palpatine. Like,
Yeah.
Palpatine, for being so powerful at this point in the timeline, like Anakin wouldn't have stood a chance.
Right. Well, I think
I don't.
Palpatine knew he wouldn't have done anything. I think Palpatine was like,
Yeah,
listen, the moment I name dropped your wife, like I got you. Like it's a
yeah,
wrap, dude. Like I have something you now want, which is why
yep.
he says we can't kill him. We got to arrest him.
Yeah, it's a good high octane little chase there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love how Obi-Wan tries to go like hand in hand with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he kicks Grievous's leg, I'm like, Obi-Wan, what are you doing?
Oh, I forgot that he tried to kick him. I didn't even realize. I thought he
Yeah,
tried to
yeah,
Yeah.
he
punch him.
kicked. No, he kicked him and hit his like shin. It's like, man, you just kicked into solid steel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing he's trying to augment his kick with the force, and it wouldn't have hurt as much
Oh,
or
true.
something.
Yeah. Look at those
But that shit,
bag of insides.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That kick. Like, bro, what are you thinking, son?
man, I played soccer back in the day, and me just seeing that, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Yep. Now shoot those
Nice
bag of
little
giblets.
call.
His heart,
Nice little
lungs.
call back to A New Hope.
Yeah. This has to be one of the worst action figures I've ever seen in my life. You know they sold this figure, right?
Which
Wait,
one?
with the
The
fire
one, the
and
one
stuff?
with Grievous. The one with Grievous with the fire coming out of his eyes. They sold that.
Yeah, no, I did. I had that Grievous actually.
Yeah.
No, I 100%. I 100% had that Grievous. He was had literally like plastic flames out of his eyes and stuff,
Yep.
and he was burned up and all that. Like I literally had that Grievous.
That's too funny.
Cool getting to see the hangar bay of the Jedi Temple there on Coruscant.
Right.
I always thought that was cool because you can't really tell there's even a hangar from other shots up to this point.
Yeah.
A Sith Lord. Now, Mace Windu should have been tripping at this point. He's a little too calm, in my opinion. Like, bro's like, wait, what? He's a what?
I'd be having a panic attack. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I'm
wait,
like,
hold
Yeah.
on here.
They
Right?
haven't existed for a millennium.
Yeah. So here's what I like about this scene, though. And I love how he did it. There's no way they can bring troopers to arrest him because the people wouldn't understand that, well, if he's a Sith and you guys are Jedi, it's just a religion thing, right? So what's wrong with him being a religious person, being a Sith? Because it's just like saying someone being a Christian, someone being a Muslim. So I
Yep.
think the Jedi were like, well, we can't bring anyone to arrest him. Like, that's outside.
That's actually a really good angle
Yeah.
to look at it
Yeah.
that way, Mill. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that.
And think about like the Sith is a religion, and people will say, well, you guys have your own Jedi ways. Why can't he just do his own thing? As long as he's
Yeah,
a great president, we're good.
Yeah, I can't go and arrest you for being a different religion for no reason
Absolutely.
at all.
Right,
Well,
right,
and
right.
in this case, potentially try to take you out.
Yeah.
I mean,
And again, they can't bring in troopers because of Order 66, which they don't know about yet. It's crazy. So pretty much I think Palpatine put him in a bad spot from the jump. He's like, well, I know we can't take you to trial because again, no one's going to believe you.
Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, we don't know a lot about the history of the Star Wars galaxy. We don't know anything about how life under the Sith Empire could have been.
Right.
But the best way I can maybe describe this, if obviously nobody wanted the Sith to be around, maybe let them almost as like Nazis, right? So if like if there was a guy that was like a Nazi war criminal that suddenly tried to gain power, I think it's like, okay, we got to get this guy. Like obviously that cannot happen. So that's what I'm thinking of right now is like think of Palpatine as like sort of a Nazi or something.
But I hear that. But here's the thing, though. That's okay. Seeing that now, Nazis. That's still 70 years ago. This is 1,000 years ago. Well, the Sith hasn't been around, so the Sith could have altered. People could say, "Well, the Sith is just some." Yeah, this like, "Oh, the Sith is just BS." Like that's just an ideal like thousands of years ago. obviously the Holocaust and
Well,
the Nazi Party is still very
Milton,
fresh in our history.
like if you look at it like in universe, I mean, of course you can fast forward, but look at the way Mayfeld acts in Mando. Like he's like, hey, Empire, Rebellion, there's no difference. Like there's always a
Right.
side, like, and
Yeah.
if you're an everyday common person in the galaxy, like, it is an interesting take because he obviously had supporters. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. No, Chris, I mean, you make a great point because, Chris, obviously, current time, if someone who's trying to say, oh, I'm bringing back the Nazi white supremacist party,
yeah,
I'm like, nah, we're good. We ain't about that life, bro. I think 1,000 years from now, that might be a different look on things, but most likely the same.
yeah.
And then, look, they're going to just pull out the sabers to arrest the guy.
Yeah.
You threatening me, Master Jedi? Love it.
Side note, so when he goes to jump in the book, fun fact for anybody listening to this, in the book for this, it says like he is literally looks like a blur to the Jedi. That's how fast he's moving.
I am
like
the
they
Senate.
can't even see him.
Yeah, look at that snarl. Just wrecking people, dude.
Right through
Like what?
Koth, right through Sassy Tin.
Yeah.
Kit Fisto.
I thought Kit Fisto
survives
how?
a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
That was my friend's favorite Jedi. Kit Fisto.
Now, how do you guys feel about this fight between these two?
It's kind of lame. I mean, there's a lot of editing in this thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of close-up shots, so you can't really see them fighting too much, and they're spinning kind of slowly.
To me, there's a lot of like convenience, like slowly moving to the window. I don't know, like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of convenience, like leading up to the finale of this fight.
Right. Well, I think how it had to do with Ian McDermott's obviously non-talent with a sword. So I mean, I think Mace, Sam Jackson could have done a lot of it, not the flipping, but the sword movements and everything. Ian McDermott wasn't a fighter, clearly.
Yeah.
But I like his facial expressions, though.
But even through all of this, though, I mean, like Palpatine's not giving 100 through this fight. Like,
right.
He knows if I stall long enough, I know Anakin's coming.
Yeah.
Like Mace Windu is so much bigger than him, and look at how easily he just took out the Emperor, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
He just simply overpowered him.
Yeah.
So here's my question: if Anakin doesn't show up, does Palpatine get killed?
No.
He would have used Force Lightning a long time ago.
Yeah.
So if Anakin doesn't intervene, does Palpatine get killed? Like if he just watches, like he's like, okay, I'm gonna let you just kill him. Like,
if Anakin, so let's say when Anakin's has his little speech here, and when Mace goes up to swing, soon as he goes up to swing, he's opening himself up for another blast of Force Lightning right out the window.
Yeah.
Right, in my opinion.
He is a traitor. This seems awesome.
Oh, I love Palpatine. I just love Palpatine in this whole sequence.
Oh, the way his skin just morphs.
And the change in Anakin right there. You can just see it.
Oh, gosh,
don't let him kill me.
I love Anakin. It's not the Jedi way. Like he's still kind of, being a Jedi.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Ben. Is he being a Jedi to actually be one, or is it out of convenience for him?
Yeah. I mean, because what's he gonna say? I need him to save my wife that I've been having secret last week.
Yeah.
Like,
facts. Yeah. I can't hold it much longer, which is BS. Yep.
I love also Palpatine's reaction. Like after Mace gets blasted out the window, I love Palpatine's reaction. It's amazing.
Whenever he slices his arm off, you'll see the smile.
Oh yeah.
Watch it. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, watch how happy he gets.
Yeah. So you're thinking, oh, I got him. And all of a sudden. Now watch closely, Chris, and you'll see Palpatine. It's the greatest thing ever. See? That quick smile, dude. Oh, it's fire. He's like, oh, gotcha. He's like, oh, I got him. Unlimited power. Bro, dude, that part is so great. Man. I think my brother and I do that to each other like all the time when we get the opportunity. Like anytime we know we can use that line, we use it.
Yeah, Aaron in the chat is already saying, does anyone think we'll see Samuel L. Jackson return in Star Wars? I'm like, yeah, Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I I
Yeah.
think I think I'm definitely in that camp, and I think it's going to happen at some point.
Hey, I wouldn't be against it. As long as they write it right and it works for the story, I'm
I
fine.
said there's too much foreshadowing for me. Like Sam Jackson posting on his Instagram and all that stuff. Like
Right.
it's
Well, what
too much
about the
foreshadowing.
ramifications of what what Mace just went through? He just discovered that the Sith are in power, and it's part of his job as one of the Jedi Council people to understand that this was supposed to happen, and he utterly failed the Jedi. So I think at this point, like, if he did survive, he would just probably go into hiding anyway, and probably would just
Yeah,
like maybe throw away his life as a Jedi
Right.
because
I
he'd be
think
Oh
so
yeah.
disgruntled and depressed over what the hell happened that he was like responsible for the galaxy to change overnight.
yeah,
True.
I think it'll help his character a lot too because I mean to be quite frank, he was basically a jerk in the prequels.
Oh yeah.
So like I think if he would come back say in the Mandoverse or something, he would be more like he'd basically be humbled. He got humbled right here. Like, you know, I think it would really help Mace's character. Mace's character was always fine to me, but I think it would help his character improve a lot.
Do you guys feel that Anakin's transition was rushed in the scene, or was it well done?
Watching this movie for like the 50th time, I think it was fine now. Like
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
done many of foreshadowing at this point. You know, Attack of the Clones. This
Right.
this is like more than
Yeah,
halfway through the movie at this point. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think it makes sense, and I mean it makes sense contextually of like we know we know he has to turn into Darth Vader. So when's it going to happen, guys? In the final minute of the movie, we
Right.
know we have
Right.
to transition to it. Like practically, it has to happen, and up to this point, it's been building. Like he literally just said, "I know how to save your wife," in like their prior meeting. So like Anakin, what's he going to do when he sees Palpatine about getting his head chopped off? Like, of course, he's going to want to save Palpatine and just be like, "Hey, you know, here we go."
And there's the hood, and that's episode 6. You know,
and
Sidious. There we go.
and you got to mention the music in the background.
You're not
Our
wrong.
favorite
Oh, it's so good.
Palpatine devious
Yep.
music going on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
My favorite line coming up is like, "And we'll now have peace." And I love how he says that.
So great.
Look, I mean, gosh, dude, that's pure Return of the Jedi Palpatine, dude. Like just in his element, that's his true mask.
Yeah.
Sheev Palpatine was his facade.
I want to
This is his true
see
mask.
I want to see Coruscant during the rule of the Empire in one of these upcoming
Facts.
series. Whether it be Obi-Wan, whether it be Andor, we got to see a Coruscant with Imperial Center with Palpatine.
Oh, I 100% think we're going to be getting it to a degree in Kenobi because I think we're going to get the Jedi Temple to one way or another. Especially
images, yeah.
Have to.
the images, and then
Yeah.
Andor, I think we will just because they had it in Rogue One, like.
Mhm. Because Andor is going to be basically a spy story, so I can see Andor actually going to Coruscant doing a mission of like intel.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. God, I remember in the theater when I saw this, I was like, oh,
Here
I'm
we
like,
go.
now it's about to get real. I'm like, Anakin's about to wreck people. And that entire legion. Now, what legion is this?
501st.
It's the 501st?
501st. Yeah.
Okay. So, who to be with him that we know? Which troopers that we know of? It wasn't
Captain
Rex.
Rex isn't here. No, Rex isn't here.
No, Rex isn't here.
No, we
Jesse?
don't really
What
know
about
it.
that Jesse
Cody-
guy?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
he dead?
Cody's with Obi-Wan,
Yeah, we really wouldn't know
yeah,
anybody at that point.
right? Because I know Cody's here, because I know Cody gives him the saber back, and then that's when Cody turns on him here in a minute.
You guys talk about good timing, man. If Kenobi would have been like 30 seconds late, he wouldn't have had his lightsaber.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, little crab droids. Forgot about those things. They were in the video.
Oh, I love
game.
that. I love that little machine gun clone trooper. Like,
right. Yeah, because we're about to see Cody right now.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh, you've been needing this. Yep, you're right. Ben, you're so right.
Yeah.
If we waited
Yeah,
like
look.
another 30 seconds.
Look, yeah,
Oh
watch.
man.
Like, he leaves and he gets the order. Literally, it's been like 10 seconds.
10
He's like,
seconds later.
your time is poor, sir. Execute order 66. Man, what's funny about that is every time someone like sees like an order like number for food that says 66, I see that on the internet all the time. It's so funny. Oh, I was at McDonald's, I got to order 66. I'm like, okay, well, you know, don't eat that. Don't eat that. It's poison. Like, it's so
God,
funny.
there was my poor dragon creature. I always feel so bad for that thing when it's falling and crying.
But it lands in water. It could be okay.
I know, but that's probably.
Right.
I
Now,
don't even know how far
what
that
planet
falls.
is this?
Munilist? No, is it Munilist? No, it's something else with an M. Megiddo.
Okay.
Megiddo, yeah, because
Megiddo.
we play that mission in Battlefront.
Yeah,
Right.
those are the galactic Marine troopers. Like the
Man,
state
it
trooper.
seems like just him just getting wrecked, dude.
Oh, this is and the worst part is this is bad enough having to watch this, but in the recent like video games and series, they've been putting Order 66 from other people's angles. Like we got it in the Kanan comic, we got it in Jedi Fallen Order, we got it in Clone Wars. It's like, damn it.
And Felicia.
We're gonna probably get more of it in Kenobi, I bet, or something with it.
Yeah. Oh, and Yoda's feeling it. I think Yoda has some heartburn going on.
Yeah.
And a headache. Yep. Yeah, man. You gotta take that medicine, Yoda. Now, Cato Nimordia. Again, I want to see this planet a lot more, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that city structure is so cool. How it's like built on a bridge like that.
Yeah. Now, how do the clones know how to call him or to say like my lord? Because they never addressed him like that before.
Well, it's just programmed in their minds, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So their programming. I mean.
Yeah. Yes, my lord.
Then I mean, did they call the Jedi that? No, I guess they said.
No, they call him like sir or like general.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we saw him flip a switch completely in,
right,
in whatever you call it,
turbo tanks.
Bad Batch.
Right now, I love how in Rogue One we got those tanks. They got those clone tanks back in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was on I forget what planet it was, like Edu or something like that.
Wabani. It was on Wabani.
Yeah, that's what it's called. You're right. Damn, Yoda, you just gonna cut heads off?
Yeah.
Yoda's like, well, we've been together for like 3 or 4 years now. Your head's going.
Now, in the video game, I'm gonna reference this again. We play this mission, and it's sick.
Oh, it's amazing.
Master Skywalker. Just killing kids. So there's a meme that I've seen. That's terrible. There's a meme that I've seen all the time, and Chris, I'm gonna have to just curse on your channel here, okay? So I'm gonna drop an F-bomb. So in the meme it has Anakin in front of the kids, and it's his lightsaber's out, and it says, "Fuck them kids." In the meme of him about to kill the kids. I'm like, what the hell?
What?
Like, that's terrible. It's such a funny meme because I'm thinking, oh my god, like it's such a sad scene, but it's like a funny meme that like
I can't stop laughing about. You haven't seen the Robot Chicken yet, have you?
No, I need to watch it. Y'all told me this before.
Here's a quick story. It's so funny. I can't stop laughing about it. So Anakin comes home from killing the younglings in the Robot Chicken, and before he does, he's like, okay, Anakin, just think of the flowers on Naboo. And he closes his eyes, and you hear the kid go, Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. And he closes his eyes, and you see like all these like 3 foot tall sunflowers standing up, and he starts chopping their heads off with his lightsaber, and then the best part is one's running away, and he's like, come here, you, and he grabs him and bites out of the sunflowers.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane. I'll have to check it out.
And then the best part is, after that, it cuts, and then it goes to him and Padme in the apartment. And he's like, "Honey, I'm home. I brought you sunflowers." And Padme walks in. She's like, "Oh, that's nice." And she's like, "Whoa!" Screams.
That's insane. I'll check it out. I'll watch it because I used to watch Robot Chicken back in the day all the time.
Oh, it's funny, but
Yeah, there goes the ATRTs. Love those things.
oh, those are. I love vehicles just in general, though.
Now wait, so those vehicles they operate slightly different. Do they actually move them themselves, or they actually? Does that make sense? Like that they had to like move them with like the.
No, I think
With
they
their
just
hands or something.
automatically go. Yeah,
Okay,
Chewbacca.
it's nice to see you, Chewie.
So, do we know? I don't remember. Tarful, did he survive?
He did. He's in Jedi Fallen Order. 5 years
Okay,
after Revenge of
okay,
the Sith, he's like resisting against the
I
Empire.
was thinking he was in Fallen Order, but I didn't remember if he was in Fallen Order or not.
Yeah, that was a really cool appearance of him in there.
What happens to his character? What's he doing in the game?
Well, he's just an NPC. Like you walk up to him and you say a couple things,
Yeah,
and he's like
okay.
out there in the Shadowlands or something like that, and I guess he lives. Like they don't show him actually fighting or anything, but yeah.
Right.
Okay, well that's good that he survived then.
So this is this is what ship is this called again? This is the arcade runner.
Tanta
Is this
V4
blockade-
or 5?
block-
Yeah,
Tanta
the
Blockade
blockade
V5.
runner. Yeah, the Tanta V4.
Can't be 4, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that design of the clone trooper. It looks so different. That helmet he's wearing. It's
Right.
like big. It's like a
Yeah.
bigger, blockier helmet.
Now, as the movie progresses, now you'll see that the Empire is really going to start to change dramatically. Like there's going to be lack of color
Oh,
when it comes to like the troopers, the ships, and all that. Which is it's crazy how like we go from this radiant galaxy to like just this plain Jane type just empire. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean, well that, and then the part even earlier when they were searching for Kenobi, on Utapau, like you saw the clone troopers rounding up the Utapau leaders
Yeah.
in the
Oh
background.
yeah.
Now, how did Bail Organa know like how to contact Obi-Wan? Like,
Yeah,
come on,
really.
bro. That's
Like,
too
how does he know he's
convenient.
in Grievous's ship?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you knew.
Well,
his
Obi-Wan was broadcasting on an emergency channel.
Oh
though.
yeah, he did say
Oh, that's right.
913 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an emergency channel, so I'm assuming a lot of the people like that are, I guess, good or in the
Yeah.
know would know about it.
Okay.
But then I guess that begs the question: what other senators? Why else wouldn't anybody else know about it?
True.
Mhm.
True. And you guys are right though. Padme really has not much to do in this movie.
She's
Like
benched.
it's like she's around for a couple minutes. She has some lines and then that's it. It's like all right. I will not portray the Republic. So his loyalties to the Chancellor, not to the Republic. Like he just flat out just said it, but she didn't really quite read into it.
Yeah, it's like red flag alert.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it's just like they're just clearly not seeing that this guy's clearly messed up. He's clearly damaged, and he's got a lot going on that he just
Mhm.
can't deal with.
Man, and like if I'm Anakin, like I don't know, I feel like you should be a little. I mean, I guess Anakin's really emotionally blown out of whack right now. Like he's all over the place. But like, man, it's like, dude, you have a kid coming and a wife. Like, you better be careful what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't get much of I noticed, and this is probably the
C-3PO?
first time I noticed this. We don't get much action from the droids. I mean,
No.
and that makes sense. I mean, this really isn't their particular story yet, but like 3PO's in this movie barely.
Barely, yeah. At least R2 had that fun action sequence in the beginning, but yeah.
But I feel like a lot of that stuff plus Padme, this movie would have been 3 hours long.
And here's the thing: I think that he could have got away with making this 3 hours long, honestly.
Well,
Yep.
he's
to
in
really
charge of
flesh out
anything
some
he wanted to
details.
do. Yeah, he didn't have any people he
Yeah.
had to answer to at this point, not like they have
True.
now.
I mean, really, this was kind of like, I guess, our Avengers Endgame in a weird way. I mean, obviously, we didn't know we were getting more movies later, but yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I've always just loved the look of the inside of the TNT 4 so much.
Just so stark white, everything.
Yeah.
Bright.
It's
Looks
just so
kinda like Camino.
futuristic. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like Camino to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, those.
Ewan McGregor was a perfectly cast for Obi-Wan without question.
Yeah, you
Now we
never
get-
get
wonderful.
anybody that would say, "Oh, I wanted somebody else." Like it's just.
Oh, without question. Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. If anyone tells me that, oh, you could have got, nope, you're crazy. Now we get Mustafa.
I
love
like the setup shots
Oh,
here
go
with
on.
these different guys and all.
Yeah.
Mining.
Well, I just love the whole. I mean, this is literally like just how Lucas likes to mirror like real life things. Like it's like
Okay.
mirroring. It's literally Darth Vader going to hell, basically.
Yes.
I
Facts.
mean, is what it is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like this is his purgatory.
Man, and this is like I don't know if I'm a Mustafar citizen, this is the last place I'd ever consider working. Like in a lava mining field, like. Whew.
Now, does he not see that Obi-Wan and Yoda sitting there next to Bail Organa?
Side note: the pilot for the ship is Jeremy Bulloch, Boba Fett.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
100%. That's 100% fact.
Nice, man.
But yeah, that's what I thought too. Is the camera view that tight on the video call? Like, I don't know. I thought it was weird too. But then again, at this point, Palpatine's probably so confident he just doesn't care.
Facts.
I mean, honestly.
Now, I know in the behind the scenes, people might think, "Oh, this is all digital." Oh no, they built this Mustafar planet like out of like a big
Mhm.
warehouse type structure, and
Yep.
and it's dope. Like a lot of it's practical with the model type of it. Obviously, we do have a lot of CGI, but even like the volcano eruptions, they got live volcano footage to splice in. Like it's legit. Like they really went above and beyond to take practical things and mix it with the models and the CGI.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like you have
Yeah.
like with all the behind the scenes stuff, they built all of the structures of like the rooms they were fighting
Yep.
in and everything. Like
Yeah.
those were actual rooms.
They even the matte paintings too. They have the background matte paintings. Again, they use a lot of
Yep.
old school techniques with the new technology. Now this scene's amazing. We're expecting you, Lord Vader.
And I love this in the Revenge of the Sith game so
Yeah.
much.
Oh yeah, dude, you're going ham in that particular
Oh yeah.
episode.
You have the droids attacking you and you're taking
Right.
out the Nimodians.
Now I forget. Do we play this particular stage too? We have to fight in the temple with Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yeah, because you play as Obi-Wan, you have Yoda dancing around basically as like a side basically protector for you, but you're playing as Obi-Wan and you're battling through because remember you fight the like the ninja stormtroopers that are super fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and replay this. I think I memorized like these lines. This is how much I love this scene.
Oh, it's so good.
And this whole entire shot, like, this is great storytelling. I'm pretty sure I posted this clip of the speech around the election a couple years ago, thinking, okay,
that's amazing.
Honestly, we need a galactic empire at this point because both our candidates were trash.
Facts. Facts. That is
Listen, I was like, I said we need a galactic empire for sure at this point.
Oh man.
Oh
that
man.
is so true.
Who could have done this? Again, like the storytelling, like how it just ties in all together.
My
Just
thing
him
is
just
too
wrecking
at
the shop.
this point, if you're Obi-Wan, like really you haven't checked in with your boy in a long time.
Right?
Like it's going on? God, I love the Senate meeting room so much. I don't know. Like I always said, I always imagine that's what our like government looks like, even though it's not.
Yeah.
But
Right, bro. I'm telling you, like Coruscant needs to be real. That's all I gotta say. And I love this movie with the saber.
oh yeah, it's so amazing.
Yeah. Chris, I don't think we can hear you. I think you're on mute, man.
Yeah, this
There
is
we
the
go.
Milton in bed commentary.
So
There you go. Yeah, we're live,
I was
people.
talking and it was muted.
Yeah.
But no, I think the thing is with the whole Senate is it still goes on for 20 years, and yet it's like, why? Because Palpatine's doing everything anyway. He's the dictator. He's the de facto leader. Why does he need a Senate anymore?
Well, I think
Yeah.
because he needs that to keep stuff in order still. Like I think he
Yeah.
don't want chaos.
Yeah,
I think he has to use that to mask what he's really doing.
yeah.
Well, there's thousands and thousands of systems.
So this is how liberty dies. But thunderous, dude. That line right there is a great line in any film.
Mhm.
Anakin just like I
Poor
don't care.
Newt Gunray. Not
Yeah,
really.
Newt needs to go. Now I think when I first saw this, I didn't realize how important that scene was when it comes to like because we get to it later where he's like turn off the
Mhm.
the
Droid ships and
the
all,
robots
yeah.
or the machines. I didn't realize what he was actually saying until later. I was like, oh wait, that's why we don't get droid battles
Mhm.
anymore, like because they're turned off completely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would still like to see like a new cut of the original trilogy with, parts of droids and stuff around because they're
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You'd think you should see something back 20 years later.
Absolutely.
You'd think.
Although we see in Bad Batch, they kind of addressed that with the whole episode where they're like on Corellia and they're basically dismantling them for parts.
hmm
You don't want to know the truth.
Yeah. Now, are we all in agreement here? If Obi-Wan would have went to fight Sidious and if Yoda would have fought Anakin, we would have had Obi-Wan die and most likely Anakin die.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
Okay.
Anakin's getting smoked by Yoda.
See, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan doesn't stand a chance.
Oh no, he would get. I think he would get destroyed by Palpatine.
Well, he already got
Correct.
destroyed by Count Dooku like twice.
True.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that is really true, actually.
But what's
The thing is
crazy though? Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, I was gonna say the big thing with Obi-Wan is it's, he would get beat by Palpatine so easily and other potential people is because he's just a defensive fighter. Like he's not talented. He's like the Floyd Mayweather. He's not super athletic, but he's just a really good defensive fighter. That's why he's able to, be such a good Jedi.
Right. Yeah. I mean, really, I always joke around and say like Obi-Wan has a lot of Derek Jeter moments where like he's clutch when he needs to be.
Yeah.
Like we all know Derek Jeter's a first ballot Hall of Famer, just like Obi-Wan is, but he just knows when to like step his game up.
Yep.
Man, this apartment they live in is just freaking beautiful, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got that money like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that penthouse got to be what, maybe 2,000 credits a month to rent. It's ridiculous.
I mean, if
Oh my
not more.
gosh.
well,
my
probably
gosh.
more because they got the parking space they got. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, like when Tom Brady lived in New York, his apartment was $50,000 a month. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry guys, we can't afford to live in Coruscant. We got to go like live in the lower levels.
Yeah.
Level 1313 would probably
Yeah.
be pretty cheap.
That's what I thought too.
So Padme hears the truth, but still refuses to give up her mans. I can't.
And
He's my baby dad.
And really, up to this point, like canonically, and even not even just taking these 3 straight movies aside, like she should know Obi-Wan's a trustworthy Jedi. Like he's not going to just say something crazy.
Right. And that's the thing. Like right? Like they're all family.
Yeah. I mean, Obi-Wan was helping her before Anakin was in Episode 1.
like honestly, like I've always thought this. I think if Anakin went to Obi-Wan to say, "Hey, listen, like look, I've been sleeping with Padme. We're together. We're married. I know I shouldn't have done that, and we're pregnant. Like I want this to happen. Will you help me?" I think he'd help him. I think,
Yeah.
and this sentence right here tells me that Obi-Wan would be like, you know what, I would have your back.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like Obi-Wan or Luke, not Luke, Anakin doesn't need the Jedi. He could have gone work. He could have got work anywhere he wanted in the galaxy.
Well, here's the thing too, but Anakin would have only been able to do that at this point. If he would have done that in Attack of the Clones, that would have not flown. I don't think.
No, absolutely. I'm saying now as like a badass general,
respectable.
Absolutely, he could have done anything he wanted.
This
I
is
love this scene.
This is an important moment where he knows he can't turn back now. He's gone too far. He's been manipulated for years, and this is what it culminates in.
Here's a fun thing too, Chris. In the book, basically, like the novelization, Anakin, the reason he was crying before was because he actually is crying because he's realizing that he's not going to become the Jedi that he believed in when he was a kid. Like that's what he was thinking in his head. Like in the book at the moment was he is realizing now he's never going to be able to become the Jedi he believed, like when he was talking to Qui-Gon, actually.
Yeah. Which, and also too, that particular scene reminds me of a book that I read when I was younger. Part of a book I read, it's just hard to read. The John Milton's Paradise Lost book about Satan's fall from heaven and his rule of hell. Anakin is, I mean, he was God's favorite. Well, Satan was God's favorite angel, if you believe all that. In this way, I see a lot of like that similarity between like how he defied the Jedi. He made a deal with the devil. Now he's sitting in his own hell right now, and with his own inner conflict. So it's crazy, but you're right though. In the book, they really go into that a lot.
Yep.
You restored peace and justice to the galaxy. Yeah, again, I did not pay attention to this when I first saw this part, like how important that was about shutting down the droid units.
Yep.
Man, he looks so dope right now as Lord Vader.
Oh, 100%.
Now, Anakin must be super hot because, like, he got that wool hoodie on. I'd be sweating like crazy. I'd have lost 20 pounds if I was here.
It's got to be about 120 degrees on these platforms. Like,
yeah. I'm like, what? I'm like, give me an air conditioner up in this piece or something.
I've always been like anti. Like, if I was a Jedi, I would not wear any of their outfits. Like, they'd be so hot.
I'm like, just give me a cutoff. Give me a tank top.
Yeah, Milton, we'd be the Jedi wearing cutoffs and shorts.
Facts. Oh, you ain't lying, dude. I wear a suit for like professional meetings and stuff. I'm like, nah, not when I'm out here about to fight. I need to be comfortable. Now, no pregnant woman runs like that. Sorry, your ankles are all swollen. You ain't running like that. I was so worried about you. See, what's crazy is she really still doesn't like I know she's panicked, but she don't act like it at times, if that makes sense. Like, she's weird about it. Mm-hmm. It's like you heard all this stuff about him. You're really still trying to fight for him, which is good. But it's like she's really not checking him on it. That's why that other scene, I wish they would have made it like that. It'd have been so kind of... It made the movie different if she would actually try to kill him. Because she knew he was, like, in the wrong.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have potentially broke Anakin more, which would have made his character better.
Yeah. Now, did you guys ever hear that might have been like a love triangle between Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme? Like,
yeah, I've heard different people talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like Obi-Wan hasn't loved another woman before. He loves Satine from the Clone Wars.
True.
Yeah.
They spent an awful lot of time together, Like through all the Clone
100%.
Wars, several arcs, all three of them were together,
Right.
I could see that.
I mean,
happening.
Obi-Wan, you got to think about it. He's been like the third wheel for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so, this is where Obi-Wan, Padme realized, like, wait a minute, you want to now rule the galaxy? Like, you never talked like that before. Then she realized, okay, Obi-Wan wasn't wrong.
She's probably like, oh crap, he did kind of mention that back in the meta one in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was right. You've changed. Like, now she realized, okay, like, he wasn't BSing me.
That's where we need like Jerry Springer stopping in.
I mean, this scene, it is heartbreaking to see this. Like,
Oh, it is 100%. And again, I wish we had more Padme in this movie.
yeah. So now this is where Obi-Wan messed up, though, because he just stands there.
Yeah.
Bro, you gonna let old boy choke his girl out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Like Obi-Wan, why are you not springing into action right here?
Yeah.
You're just letting it happen. Oh, she's pregnant. Okay,
You're just
that's cool.
slowly walking down the ramp.
Oh, yeah. Right?
He's just
Like,
strolling
come on, bro.
down
You
the
force
ramp.
choking her.
Like, couldn't it, I mean, I don't know the range for a force push, but couldn't he have pushed Anakin or something? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I remember in theaters, I swear in theaters, he lifted her off the ground when he force choked her.
I'm
Wasn't
pretty
she
sure
off
he
the
did.
ground? I think she was off the ground though.
Yeah,
looked
but
like
I
she
feel
was.
like in theaters that they showed it. They showed him like grabbing her and slightly pulling. Again, I was like, "Whoa, like that's a little crazy."
No, I swear I feel like I've seen that. They may have edited
That's what I'm saying.
it.
Like I swear
Because
they
no,
did that.
I know I've seen that before too, Milton. Like I 100% feel like I've seen that.
Right.
There's no denying that the performances of both of these actors here are so good. Like this is the best we've seen Hayden Christensen at this moment. He's just becoming so unhinged at this point. All this stuff that's been boiling up is just coming up. You know, just he's letting loose here.
Mm-hmm. This shot's amazing. How they show their faces like that from the distance.
Yeah.
Your new empire. It's like whoa,
it's like the samurai shots, the way it's shot.
Yeah. Only Sith deals in absolutes, which again, that's such a good line, but damn, Anakin. I think I've used that line so many times. Like, oh yeah, only Sith deals in just for everything. I like to do that. It's so funny. This fight's amazing. Where do you guys rank this fight?
Top 3.
Without question.
I would say top 3, top 4 max.
Yeah, top 3.
Top 4.
Yeah. Oh, I love the action.
Love the music.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the music's amazing.
Have our boy just say, "Up, get out of here." People got a lot of laughs when they saw Yoda just throw those guys in the theater.
Oh, I know. I love that so much.
I want to see the Royal Guards actually like do something for a change, you know? Like let's get them in Obi-Wan, let's get them in Andor actually like combatively in a situation cuz
right.
They always look cool, but like we don't know why.
They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say at one point we want Ma Samita to do something. Because all he does is just walk out the room here. That's all he does.
He's like, well, let me just step out of the room here.
Right, that's right. He's like, oh, no, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, this is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Well, Matsamina knows everything that's happening. Like, he's one of the very few people that actually knows the plan of Palpatine. He's got those advisors like Sly Moore, like that bold Baron woman, and then the Chagrian of Masameda. They know what was happening.
Right. Man, this is awesome. Like, this fight feels dangerous.
Well, think about how coordinated they would have to be with, jumping around like all the different areas.
And they basically do all their own stunts, I think.
Yeah, they do. Like so before they shot the film, I think what I remember seeing and reading, Nick Gillard, who's a stunt coordinator, like they filmed this, like they filmed the stunts for George like 3 months before shooting to say, hey, this is what we wanted to do because George wrote it out, but they filmed it and said, hey, we want to show you what we're doing all with the camera angles, and he's like, oh, I love it, and then he tied a lot of that into the movie. So Anakin and Obi-Wan was working on that for like months.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a comedic thing when he like goes right into the chair head first.
He's like, you broke my hip.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna use the Force to flip though. All right.
no,
Now,
But
this is the badass moment here. See, I didn't think Yoda talked that much stuff like that.
I know.
but I can't
They
imagine
definitely made
like
him a little
the.
more. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I can't imagine being like an original trilogy person that's seen the original films, and actually getting to see like the Grand Master Jedi versus the Grand Sith. Like, who would ever think, after Return of the Jedi, you'd actually see these two epic characters fighting?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
See,
it's
now
amazing.
Palpatine is having the time of his life during that fight, though, because he's like, "Oh, nope, you guys know who I am. I want to kill some Jedi. Let's do
Right?
it. I love it."
He's like,
Yeah.
there's no more hiding
up to this
anymore.
point,
Yeah.
up to this point, he hasn't been able to fight a Jedi. Like, this is the first time he's really testing his fun skills out, basically.
Right. That had to have hurt.
Oof.
God, I love that. Now this shot right here with the dome, the Armada coming up, man, dude. If you were in a theater watching this, oh my God, like I'm not kidding. If they put this in theater re-release, I'm going to see this because I love
They-
this
100%.
shot.
They put Rogue One in the theaters for like a weekend for a Disney Plus
Yeah.
day.
Nice. Yeah,
But,
this whole rotunda scene is so dope.
Yeah, I mean, last year during the pandemic, our theater put Empire Strikes Back in, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
amazing. We went.
Yeah, I went and seen it as well. Yep.
Yep. Man, the best part is even last year, Empire's been out forever, and when we entered, there was like 25 people, 25, 30 people in the theater to see it. It was awesome.
It's just something different. Well, a lot of the generation too who haven't seen it in theaters, they're probably like, "Oh, let's check it out, the experience,"
Yep, 100%.
Now, I had a friend of mine who watched. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You tell.
I was gonna say I had a friend who had watched this before. They didn't realize what happened with those like blue things that went off. They're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "They're actually shields." I said, "The place is gonna start falling apart now." and they didn't realize it.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of the most interesting, like, basically background things that are happening right now.
I love the wielding of the Force, like seeing the Force wielded in such a violent way of power of Palpatine. He might not be the best lightsaber duelist, but he's mastery of the Force.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I love how he's having a good time throwing these pods when we get to it. Like,
dude, this again, I love this scene because he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Just cackling.
But it shows how powerful he is, being potentially like 70 years old or so.
Yeah.
And he's doing all this stuff.
He's like, get out of here.
This is nuts. I love it. This scene's amazing.
And I guess that
shows how strong Yoda is too.
Yeah, I guess that's the last time that Yoda will ever use a lightsaber again, because he just lost it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ugh. And there we go. So why did Yoda? So here's my question. I didn't understand this part. Why was it necessary? I know with the original trilogy, but do you really think he had to go into exile, like the way he did?
I don't know. That's a tough one, just because it's like, I guess it's the whole thing of he was literally the leader of this entire basically cults or whatever, and they were so arrogant, so high on themselves, and then they fell. Basically, it's the whole thing of like, oh man, we just failed the entire galaxy. Like, it basically crushed him. So I don't know. I can see where, that makes sense. But then again, it's like, you are still Yoda. Like,
right.
And like, realistically, Yoda just did all this stuff, not to get like too nitpicky on Yoda's acrobatics and stuff, but he just did all this stuff. Like, who's to say he couldn't do this another 25 years later in Empire Strikes Back? Like, I don't know. Like, that's too into the weeds, but still, like, it's only 25 years, and that's not that far for a Yoda species.
I agree.
Yeah, Yeah, so I mean, I think it makes sense for him going into exile because, like Ben said, in charge of basically the Empire coming to power, sort of thing. If he could have caught it a lot sooner, um, but maybe maybe he knows that there's also hope for if he's still around. He's doing his penance for his failure, but there's maybe a chance that he could actually help the future generations, which he does.
Right.
And and I mean on a practical level too, you just got all your friends and basically family killed. Like I mean all the
Yeah.
Jedi were basically his family.
Now I love the costume design here and how they made everything look like it was getting tore up, burned
Yeah.
up. Now I'm surprised. I will say I'm surprised none of their skin got burned, like scarred up at all. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like you would think like some like shears or like like especially this part, like little like
Yeah.
lava like bubbles or something happened. But
Oh
again,
yeah,
I
look
mean
at all
that's
that
like
lava.
that's yeah, that's nitpicky stuff. But I mean, obviously their clothes got tore up, which is great attention to detail. But you would think someone at least got like shard at one point, like oh maybe like a slither of like lava like got on their hand or
Yeah.
something like that, you know?
I mean and I mean practically, man, I'm sure they're if you were there, I think you'd probably be getting carbon monoxide poisoning or
Facts.
something.
Yeah,
But that's too real world, I guess, to put in there.
that's
But
what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like yeah.
I
Go
do
ahead,
like
man.
the ashy. I do like the ashy look to their costumes, though.
Absolutely. I love that attention to detail. And this is dope too. Like we've never really seen this in the Star Wars
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Talking about amping up what we see a duel in a very first Star Wars: A New Hope, just two guys dueling in a hallway, not much going on,
Yep.
and then we just extrapolate that times 100 and have like the most epic duel, like in a lava river on top of a floating piece of wreckage. Like that's just
Right.
insane when you think about it.
But yeah,
Well,
here's the thing though. Go ahead, Ben.
well, the thing is too, like with that, and I'll let you go real quick too. Like, like the practicalities. Like, if you're Anakin or Obi-Wan, if you take one wrong slip, you are
Yep.
done. Like, there's no,
Yeah.
there's no coming back or falling onto a metal platform. Like, you are done.
Yeah, I
Like,
was just about to say the same thing. Like you have to be precise about where you're going to go, for sure.
well, like
And
when
this
they
scene
jumped
right
onto
here.
those platforms, like Anakin wobbles, like he or Obi-Wan wobbles, whichever one wobbled, like they were gonna fall.
Right. Now, here's my thing though too. In the upcoming Obi-Wan series, we saw that concept art of what like their fight could potentially be. I think they're going back to Mustafar at some point.
And if we get Vader and
Oh
Obi-Wan
my
fighting on
gosh.
Mustafar's and Vader in the suit, holy
Oh my
smokes.
god, dude, it'd be
Whoa.
over. Because they said it's gonna be epic, so I'm assuming it's gonna be they got to live up to this fight. This fight, they have to.
I mean, I'm in the camp of, man, if they go to Mustafar to fight, I want Obi-Wan to slash the helmet off so they're Anakin's fighting without a helmet.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to see that.
Right, or at least get like that Ahsoka echo of how
Yep.
they did it in Clone Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see like a new costume for Vader, like something that's reminiscent of Vader, but like see Anakin trying to get out of the suit more, seeing him almost like a Darth Malgus or a Darth Malak, where he has like half his face
Right.
is like a rebreather thing, like that or something, and like you can actually see his like bald head and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and here's the thing though, there's precedent for that in the canon. It was as Legends now, but he
Yeah.
tried to make adjustments to his suit and like try to
Yeah.
heal.
Oh
So
yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh,
I know he's
100%.
trying to do like
Yeah.
the meditation chamber and stuff. The meditation
Right.
chamber is what he's allowed to like go longer and longer without the suit.
I have the
I have
high
the high
ground.
ground.
That's been turned into a meme everywhere.
I mean, they memed it in
Underestimate
Game
my
of Thrones in the finale of the mountain.
Yeah. Ugh. Don't. Ugh. Jeez.
See,
Oh
this
my
is your
goodness.
there's your Derek Jeter moment, though, Milton. Like
Yeah,
that wasn't
seriously.
skillful, but it was perfect timing.
Perfect. Like again, like he has those moments. You know, he did it with Dooku, or not Dooku, Mace,
Django or
and Django, Anakin, Grievous. You know, he's
Darth
that
Maul,
good.
especially.
Darth Maul, yeah. Look at his eyes, man. You can just see it, like the hatred, the sadness. Like this scene is sad. Like it legit is.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I remember too as a kid, like you guys are you guys are a couple years older than me, but me being like 11 or 12, this is kind of spooky to me. Like seeing a guy get burned alive like that.
Right.
Like as a kid, I was like, man, that's kind of scary.
Well, that ties into this was the first PG-13 Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because of the immolation scene here, like him getting burned up.
Yeah.
I hate you, which is like amazing. He still goes that far, and then yeah. Now, part of me was thinking, this Anakin just start rolling around, but it's like, no, he don't have the strength.
Well,
But
to
yeah,
me too, like
ugh.
the thing that's so like heartbreaking about this scene too is the fact, like if you're Obi-Wan, sure, it would be so hard for you to do it, but could you let your like brother just burn alive? Why not just put him out of his misery? Just walk up to him, put one lightsaber to him, and it'd be done.
Yeah.
But even that though, like part of me felt like it's like, well, even when he cut him up, just go down and grab him, pull him up, and say, "Listen, man, I know you're cut up, but I ain't gonna let you burn. You know, like this is enough suffering, all you can go through." I don't know. Yeah, it's craziness, but it's perfect the way it is, I guess.
100%.
I love how he doesn't answer her and just lets her just think he's okay.
Yeah, he's good. He's chilling in the other room.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just taking a nap.
On fire.
Well, poor R2.
Then again, I mean, I guess, just to justify Obi-Wan letting Anakin burn, I guess Obi-Wan really did view him as he's a Sith at this point. Like, he's evil. Like, he can't come back. He can't come back from it. So, like, basically you're just getting what you deserve.
I agree.
That's where we're going to...
Because, I mean, Obi-Wan initiated the fight. He went there to kill Anakin. Like, he knew he was a Sith.
And that's where we're going to lean into the Obi-Wan series. Like, all right, you're going to get a second chance of trying to... Those 10 years he's on Tatooine, he's thinking a lot, he's reminiscing a lot, and maybe he feels, okay, it's time to go try to save him,
Yeah.
Chris, dive into that more, Chris. I mean, because I think that's a very interesting perspective because, I mean, at this point, I think at the end of this movie, when we get the Anakin or the Obi-Wan series, like, there's going to be a lot of thoughts about what is Obi-Wan's psyche at this point. Like, what's he really going through? Like, what do you think we're going to see more from him in that series now that we know this?
Well, yeah, because he's going in exile, so he'll be isolated a lot. So he's going to be alone with his own thoughts, and that's where we could get the flashbacks. Maybe we'll get like flashbacks of like him in his hut, like reminiscing about certain like unique moments that resonated with him. That kind of bring him to the understanding, or there always could be like an external thing that happens, like somebody takes Leia. There's a rumor about like kidnapping Leia, and then he has to go, and things happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it'll for sure, and also to answer your question too, Milton. Like, I think we're 100% going to be getting something along the lines of like Obi-Wan trying to turn him, because in Return of the Jedi, Vader literally says to Luke, "Obi-Wan once thought as you did," when Luke was saying, "Come with me, Father," like, come back to the good side. And Vader literally says to Luke, "Obi-Wan once thought as you did," and that was never addressed in canon. So what does that mean?
Right. Yeah. So she doesn't have the will to live. What does that mean?
I
don't know. But these two scenes are beautiful. One, we get to see a rainy Coruscant, and we get to see a galaxy that's completely changing.
Yeah, look at the color palette.
There's so much in these two scenes. You're like, whoa, like there's a lot in here. And the parallel of like how Padme's dying, the children are born. However, Vader's being reborn, Anakin's dying. Like it's
great parallels, like you said. That's
absolutely.
That's no better way of doing it than this ending here.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I do really hope too, with like us seeing these final scenes and sequences, I really hope more than anything we get a first-person shot, multiple shots of, from Anakin's point of view, seeing inside the cybernetic helmet, like that look. Like I really hope we see more of that.
Right. I love that scream right there when he does that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just you can just feel it.
Life and death.
Absolutely. Like it's Luke. Those some big babies, man. Damn. Must be a lot of metachlorians in them. That's why.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though. In the current Darth Vader comics, this planet they're on is called Polis Massi, and Vader ends up going back here and finds out a transmission of Padme in that scene where she says there's still hope in Vader or Anakin. So that's like in the comics, and it's in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And that is one of the things that will eventually come back to like get Vader to get redeemed. Is like he still thinks that Padme
that's cool.
thought there was good in him. From that recording,
I love that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the attention to detail, the breathing. You see the steam and how watch it move when he breathes. Like that's amazing how he really kept that attention to detail.
Wow.
Like that's nuts. Now, this particular scene, whenever they have Vader rise up, whenever she passes, I believe in the theatrical cut or even the trailer, one of the two, his hands are up like this, but then they put his hands down, and I think in the re-release.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it plays out. And if it doesn't play out that way, man, Milton, you and me are seeing. We watched a totally different Revenge of the Sith.
No, you're right. Listen, because his hands are down here, but
like I know I've seen that.
It's in the trailer still. Yeah. Go back and look at the original trailer. His hands are up.
I think maybe because if his hands are up, that might make him look like he's more of a prisoner.
Yes,
like if his hands are up.
I think that's why they made him like very much like weak, all that type of stuff, and this makes him look stronger.
Yeah, like
also, this is 100% Frankenstein.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, and this is Palpatine, was Sidious, just manipulating him some more. Like he just never stops. Like, oh, in your anger, you killed her. It's like, bro. I mean, it technically kind of did, but it's like, bro, you just not letting up on this guy.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't hold back.
Yeah. This scene was dope in the theater, just how powerful he was.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, Ben, Frankenstein's monster here, how he walks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first steps he's taken with cybernetic legs.
Yeah. Now I've heard people complain about that. Oh, why is he yelling no? I'm like, wait a minute. If you're telling me if you're a human being and got cut up and burned up, put in a cyber suit, you wake up like that, you wouldn't freak out. Like that.
I would be doing a lot more than what Anakin just did there.
Thank you.
Just say that.
I'm burning the planet down.
Yeah, that whole building would have been getting destroyed.
Right.
So yeah, this part they're all convening on the blockade runner, and there's a little detail about Yoda saying, "Oh, I've learned how to communicate with your old friend, Qui-Gon Jinn," and I think we're gonna see some good old Liam Neeson in the Obi-Wan series. I think so.
Right.
It was supposed to be a scene shot for that, and then it wasn't.
Really?
Well, in this movie, you mean? You're talking about that, Ben?
For this movie specifically.
So we did see it. So remember whenever your boy Bail Organa goes to Yoda and says, "Hey, they're here." That was the scene, but they couldn't get not Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson to shoot it because they get some scheduling conflict. But yeah, like there is previs done on it. It's on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So it's supposed to be Liam, well, Qui-Gon speaking to Yoda.
I have to look this up.
Man, I hope more than ever. I hope so much that Liam Neeson is the surprise Luke cameo, like Luke was in Mando.
Mhm.
Like, if Liam comes in as a Force ghost, I'm gonna probably freak.
Right. Have his
Oh,
mind
one thing we forgot to throw out. Oh, that was such a good convenient. See, that's the thing I don't mind. Like, there are certain connections in Star Wars, like C-3PO's creation, I did not like, but I liked that connection right there as to why he doesn't know, what he knows in A New Hope.
Right.
I do like that. One thing we forgot to shout out earlier, when Bale went to the temple and that Jedi got killed, that was George Lucas's son.
Oh yeah, it was Jet. Yeah, it was Jet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to throw that out there.
Your man
Some
Jar Jar.
weird-
I love this scene, and it made her still look pregnant, which makes sense.
Yep. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, it plays perfectly because then if they think she's still pregnant, then it's like, oh, there's no threat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's the whole thing in the comics is they're trying to mask her, the kids and all that.
Right.
Yep.
Now look, the Empire, like how it's very much gray now, very familiar with what we've seen
No
before.
colors. Good old Grand Moff Tarkin.
Mm-hmm. Krennic's around somewhere doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krennic and what's his name? Galen Orso.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, it's just a great shot.
This is just a great epilogue. Just like kind of catching us up on like the state of the galaxy here. Just the quick turn to the Empire.
Man,
Or-
no, this is
Just
what.
think about, go on.
What planet is this? This is
One
I know
shot
this.
of Alderaan.
All
The
right.
only
Gorgeous-
time
gorgeous.
we see it.
Yeah, gorgeous planet.
I'm sure we'll probably see it in like the old Republic movies and stuff.
Yeah. Again, we need
I think
Coruscant.
we'll see it in Kenobi.
Yeah, Coruscant,
Oh yeah.
Naboo. Yeah,
Dude.
Coruscant, Naboo, Alderaan, and there's another one. Like they all need to be like real life planets. I'm sorry, like if someone gave it those options and made them real, I'm moving there.
I think our checklist for Kenobi is Tatooine, Mustafar, Coruscant, and Alderaan are the main planets.
Yeah,
I could see that.
right. And then two other actors gonna be back in the series.
Mhm.
Bonnie Peace and Joel Edgerton. It's crazy how we had no idea that Joel Edgerton would be a really good actor from this point on in 2005.
Yeah.
And he's been in a lot of good movies. Like seriously, really good actor.
Okay, I have no
Red
idea.
Sparrow.
I have no idea about anything he's been in.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton, he's in some good stuff. Like you have to go. He was in Warrior with what's the name? Tom Hardy. He was
Red Sparrow was critically acclaimed a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was in a couple mafia movies.
Yep.
He was in that Ridley Scott movie about Egypt with Christian Bale. I forget what it's called.
Gods of Egypt.
Yeah, he was in that one. Yeah, he played Ramesses.
I thought the ending to this is really good. Just right here,
Yeah.
I thought it was a good cap to the saga. End of the saga, I guess. But
Hey, we're all done.
There you have
done
it.
it.
But yeah, backing off what Ben said, such a dark movie, the dark and depressing movie as we knew we were going to get when we had to see basically the fall of Anakin Skywalker, Return of the Vader. But the way they leave it off, somehow George Lucas manages to make an uplifting ending to something that we just watched tons of people die in.
Right.
Yeah.
But it needed to be done that way. It was still worth it,
Oh man.
100%. Like it's definitely one of the better Star Wars movies. Like
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's the best prequel movie for sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And
Without question.
I think it's
I think
would say
it's top
better than
5 for me right
better
now.
than the sequel movies, but it's top 5 for me for sure.
Yeah, I would have a hard time distinguishing if I like this or Force Awakens. I really do like Force Awakens. At the moment, I probably like this.
It's a lot.
I don't know, but so much to dive in with this movie, man, because it really dives into the Jedi. You get to see them at their absolute lowest point, where they don't exist anymore, essentially after this movie.
Right.
And you get to see that, the Empire. You get to see Anakin, his transition is the biggest part of this, but also with Obi-Wan and how he's dealing with it. Such amazing space battles. You get to see that
Oh,
epic,
absolutely.
the epic began one of the best lightsaber duels and one of the best duels, period. There's so much to like about this movie.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I think music wise, this is a top 3 score in Star Wars. Because I think this one's good. I'll take Empire's score, and obviously the original New Hope is really good. So those are probably like my top 3 scores for sure in Star Wars. But I mean, it's again like that.
I can't disagree with that. Like I think it's probably top 3, top 4 at the lowest.
Yeah, because top 4 I throw.
definitely
I actually like the Rogue One score too, low key. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Giacchino did a great job with that.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like so Revenge of the Sith is one of those classics. I mean, and I've heard a lot of people, outside of like Star Wars like realm talk about this movie. I just watched some lady, some like I don't know, like historian talked about how she like ran into Revenge of the Sith the one day on TV, and she's like, "Oh, that movie's amazing," and she just talked about how much the symbolism and the fall of Anakin. Like she was giving a seminar, dude, talking about this.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, it was great." And I'm like, it's just some rando scholars like, oh yeah, this movie tells a lot of great stories. So again, these films, all of the films for sure, and I'll include the sequels too. They
That's
tie in
right,
a lot of like mythology
Yep.
and history
Mm-hmm.
and religion and real life situations where people can relate to, and I love it.
That's the thing, right?
I mean-
is George Lucas did a great job of kind of having an amalgamation of Greek mythology, of Far East mythology with the Force,
Yep.
of current politics with like the Vietnam War at the time when he was making the original trilogy. All these big things, these leaders that are corrupt, these dictators, all this stuff. It's just that's how you make modern myth right there, right?
Yep.
Just combining everything, but putting your own spin in a fun way that's going to both appeal to the older audience as well as create kind of like role models and stuff for the young audience.
Agreed. Like you're not
100%.
wrong. Yeah. It's just great storytelling, and I have nothing negative to say about it at all. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, Revenge of the Sith, like we said, it's one of the better, just overall Star Wars movies. Music, the cinematography is great, the action sequence, lightsaber duels, all the action's amazing. There's really not a lot to say negative about it, really. I mean, and my thing with the Revenge of the Sith is once you get 45 minutes in, it's always about the 45-minute mark. You're good from then on out. There's not going to be any slow moments because about the 45-minute mark is where Obi-Wan says goodbye to Anakin, and that's when everything goes crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's even hard to say that. I mean, we were talking Attack of the Clones. It's like, okay, you have to get like halfway through the movie. Well, the mid part of the movie is like really slow. And then you get to the end, it's like, okay, this is great. Phantom Menace kind of like the beginning's pretty much slow. But this one's very consistent, I think, at least.
Yep, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, without question.
But
So which commentary are we doing next, just to give them like I guess a sneak peek?
we'll do Solo next. We're going to continue through chronological Solo. We'll go through the standalone, so Solo, Rogue One. So
Okay.
maybe sometime in February or March we'll pick that back up because Book of Boba Fett's 7 episodes. We'll do like a season review. So talk about like 8 weeks worth of Boba Fett talk. So whenever that is after December 29th, I don't know. I guess that's going to be sometime in probably close to March at that point. And we don't know what's coming out next after that. Probably Bad Batch, but it could also be Obi-Wan. So we'll obviously let you guys know, but I'm sure there will be at least a week or two gap, or we'll be able to fit another commentary in for you guys.
Nice, can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, but the
It'll
whole
be
process.
a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, the whole process of doing these commentaries is we all have a lot of fun with these, obviously, and we hope that you guys like listening to them, especially if you're not actively watching these movies while you're listening. Hopefully, our conversation is enough to where you can kind of appreciate our conversation around what we're kind of watching at the time.
Well, my thing with that is for like a commentary like this, we're at least we're not having dead air really, when you're listening to a commentary like this with us. We're talking even in moments that are like slower parts of the movies, we're just talking over them versus just sitting here quiet, like not saying anything. So, that's a big thing, because I feel like sometimes when you watch other commentary videos on YouTube, like, so nothing against other content creators, but sometimes people just sit there quiet and don't say anything.
Right.
So, like, to me, it's good, we sit here and just, I feel like us, like, talking more, it like gets you guys as the listeners, like, like interacting and thinking like, oh yeah, I like that point or don't like that point or whatever. Like, I feel like it's a good mix.
Oh yeah, there was like one or two times where we were all quiet because it's just like, this movie's so good, I just want to sit here and
Yeah.
watch it. Because I have the subtitles on. I have the volume like very low, compared to what your guys are speaking at. So I'm not really like listening, but I'm just watching it, and like the certain action pieces, like Star Wars is really good to be like a silent film. As great as the dialogue is in certain moments, you could just turn off the sound and just get sucked in to just the visual storytelling.
Oh, yep, without question. Totally agree.
So that's it. I mean, the credits are done. The movie's been over for a couple minutes now. But we sure had a blast. At least I know I had a blast. It's always fun like hearing other huge Star Wars fans' inputs on these movies, because I'm always picking up something new that I didn't think about or I didn't see in the corner of the screen or something like that. That kind of changes a perspective and adds something a little bit new. And I'm sure the same thing could be said, you guys as well, reciprocated. But yeah, a whole lot of fun watching Revenge of the Sith, the last of the prequels.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love doing this. I appreciate it. You guys have me here every week. Guys, whoever's watching and listening, please, tell your friends about the commentaries. We have a good time. We're looking forward to doing them down the road. So, yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a lot of fun. Like, I agree, Milton. Like, whether it's just, heck, the cool thing about Star Wars like this is it's always just fun talking about it with your friends. And, we can basically say, hey, we're friends, like all of our listeners and subscribers and things too, fellow Star Wars fans. So, that's one of the best parts about a commentary. Like, even if you're just sitting at home alone one day, you could turn on one of these commentaries and it's like, oh, hey, we got 3 more Star Wars fans to sit here and watch the movie with me. Like, so that's a really fun part about these commentaries. Like, I've always enjoyed commentaries from other content creators too, just because like they, it does, like, when you don't have anybody to watch a movie with, you can turn it on to hear what other people's opinions are. And that's always like, one of the best parts about being a movie fan, or especially a Star Wars fan in general, is talking about it with other people. And commentaries are a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. So, heads up, next week we'll be talking a lot about the news. I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about between this week we had very light news. Yeah, we had a couple teasers, TV spots for Boba Fett. So we'll talk a little bit about those, and we'll probably inadvertently get more and more as we get close to next week. But in the meantime, if you guys are listening to this podcast, you can also watch us live. It's really fun as well to chime in during our commentaries that we go live, because we can just talk. Like we mentioned, Aaron was in the chat. Your brother Chris was in the chat. So we had a lot of fun going through talking with you guys there. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. 9:00 Eastern every Friday around is when we go live. We also have a Teespring store, so go ahead, search Outer Rim Transmission to pick up a t-shirt, help support the channel. And we are on all your obvious podcast platforms, so those watching and want to listen to us at the gym or on the way to work, things like that. So that's gonna do it for us here at Outer Rim Transmission. Where can the guys and the girls find you on the internet?
I am at Milton Weber, the number 7 on Twitter. Check me out there. I talk about sports, Star Wars, and whatever is just interesting to me that day.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me as well on Twitter and Instagram at Real Ben Maynard, and just talking basically Star Wars and fitness and sports. And right now, I am doing a watch through of one Christmas movie per day leading up to Christmas. So that's something to look out for as well.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm currently watching all the Spider-Man movies, so I'm trying to get caught up. I have to watch Spider-Man 3, then both Amazing Spider-Man movies. I got my tickets, surprisingly, ready to go for the 16th opening night. So
Nice.
That to me feels like a Star Wars opening night. The way that people are getting hyped up, ticket sales are out of this world. So I'm treating that as like my Star Wars movie this year. So looking forward to that. As far as my channel here, I recently put out my recap video for the last Thrawn Ascendancy novel for Lesser Evil. So you can go ahead and check that out if you are just keen to understand what happened in the book. Maybe you're not sure if you like it or if you want to read it right now. Go ahead and check out my recap video where I give you all the main plot points of that. And as always, you can find out my comic book reviews. I do weekly as well. So that's gonna do it for me. For Milton, for Ben, that's going to do it for Outer Rim Transmission number 36 in transmission.